The Beginning of Douluo with a pan. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51. Soto City, Prophet Flanders. 1. The Balak Kingdom is located in the south of the Xiandao Empire, bordering the Fasno province. It is said to be a kingdom, but in fact its area is only 3/4 of the Fasno province. It is affiliated to the Xiandao Empire, and is one of the 4 kingdoms within the Xiandao Empire. One of the great kingdoms, King Balak Kundra, was the cousin of Akira, the current king of the Dao Empire. In the south of the Berak Kingdom, it directly bordered the Star Luo Empire. Therefore, among the 4 kingdoms of the Heaven Dao Empire, the Berak Kingdom had the strongest military power, and could also be said to be the gateway of the Heaven Dao Empire. The Heaven Dao Empire originally consisted of 10 provinces. Later, with the division of the 4 major kingdoms, 6 powers were formed. The empire itself directly controlled 5 provinces. Each of the 4 major kingdoms controlled 1, and there was a duchy next to the kingdom. Occupies one of the smallest provinces in the eastern part of the empire. On the surface, the 4 major kingdoms and the principality are all under the rule of the Heaven Dao Empire, but in fact, these 5 countries have long since become a kingdom within a kingdom, and everything is completely independent except for the necessary tribute point. If it wasn't for the Xiandao imperial family's mastery of heavy troops, perhaps the civil strife would have already occurred. The Star Luo Empire also had a similar situation. Therefore, the 2 empires look strong, but in reality, they were both going downhill. No one can say that. One day the situation of the entire continent will suddenly change. There are 2 most important cities in the kingdom of Berak. One is Berak City, the capital of King Kundra of Berak, which is the political and economic center of the entire kingdom of Berak. The other city is the city of Soto, which is located in the middle of the most fertile Lima plain in the kingdom of Berak, known as the Granary of Berak. Both cities are heavily guarded, and are the top priority of the entire kingdom. Soto City is a prosperous big city, which can be seen from the fact that its Wuhan Palace is configured as the 3rd level Wuhan Main Palace. Tang Lin followed Liang Kia and his party to the city, and he looked around along the waypoint. This was his first time coming to this city, and he felt both unfamiliar and curious about it. There were all kinds of people on the road, and from time to time a small group of soldiers walked past. This place was incomparable to small towns like Notting City. Not far ahead, there is a shop with a small facade. The sign hanging on the shop has a circular mark with several special symbols on it. They are a sword, a hammer and a blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex, with the 3 marks combined. Tang Lin thought to himself, could this be? Wouldn't it be so coincidental? Tang Lin suddenly had some ideas in his mind. Sister Kia, I'm going back. Thank you for sending me to Soto City. Tang Lin said goodbye immediately. Now that we have arrived at Soto City, there is no need to follow their group. Kwen snorted lightly. Xiolina, where are you going? My sister will see you off. Soto City is very big. What should you do if you get lost? Liang Kia was a little reluctant. She liked Tang Lin very much, and she couldn't bear to see Tang Lin leave, nor could she trust him to leave alone. No need to send her off, Sister Kia. I'm already here, Tang Lin said with a well-behaved look. Tang Lin now has many experience cards and boots of speed. Even if Kwen hates him and secretly sends people to get at him, he won't worry. After all, he is just a child. It is impossible for Kwen to send the Soul Emperor out, right? Besides, the Soul Emperor is not something he can call at will. In this case, there is nothing to worry about. Okay, now that you're here, go back and come to my sister's house to play with her when you have time, Liang Kia said. Finally, she picked up Tang Lin and hugged him tightly. She hugged him for a long time before putting him down. After a few kisses, she watched Tang Lin slowly leave. Kwen next to him was a little unhappy. Sister Kia has never treated me like this. I want to hug me too. I want to kiss her. After Tang Lin left, he walked directly towards the shop, regardless of what Liang Kia and Kwen were watching. The door of the shop was open, and it looked a little dark inside. Tang Lin slowly walked in with excitement. When he entered, a special energy wave attracted his attention. He knew that this was because of the soul guide. All soul guides have soul power fluctuations. If they are not used by others to bind their own soul power, the soul power will be released. Most of the soul tools have no offensive function and can only provide some simple assistance point, but despite this, soul guides are extremely rare. All soul tools that have been handed down can be said to be antiques because their production methods have been lost. There was only one person in the store and there was no counter. There were some items hanging on the 3 walls which looked very old and did not look like they were valuable at all. The only person was sitting on a wooden recliner, shaking with the recliner with his eyes closed. He looked to be in his 40s or 50s. Although he was not young, he had a strong build. The sturdy looking recliner swayed and made a rattling sound under his weight. This person has a very distinctive face, with a slightly protruding chin, wide cheekbones, a flat face, and a slightly hooked nose point. Although his eyes are closed, he looks a bit cunning. Wearing a pair of black framed crystal glasses on his face. The frame is a rigid square shape, which looks weird. Tang Lin was extremely surprised. Isn't this the dean who founded Shrek Academy, the four-eyed owl Flanders, the profiteer? Exclamation mark. There is no doubt that some of these things on the wall are soul tools. When they were young, the Golden Iron Triangle traveled to many places in Douluo continent. Therefore, it is not surprising that Flanders, the main force in the Iron Triangle, has some soul tools in his collection. It's just that no matter whether these things are useful or not, they can no longer attract Tang Lin. Liang Qiu outside the door saw that Tang Lin did not come out after entering the store, so he thought this was Tang Lin's home, so he felt relieved and left with everyone. Now that I know his home is here, I can still come here to play with my little brother when I have time. K. Wenz was unhappy when he saw Liang Qiu reluctant to leave. He immediately whispered something to a subordinate. But after all, Tang Lin was happy to leave him. When Tang Lin was here, he was rejected every time he approached Qiu. Tang Lin had become her shield. He talked and laughed with Tang Lin all the time, and he didn't care at all, willing to deal with him. Now that Tang Lin is gone, he can do his best. What? While Tang Lin was still observing the things in the store, Flanders on the chair suddenly let out a light sigh and then slowly opened his eyes and looked at Tang Lin. When he found out that Tang Lin was just a little kid around 6 years old, he was extremely shocked. Level, soul power at just 6 years old. What monster is this? This is too ridiculous. Tang Lin noticed something strange about Flanders and thought to himself, was he really discovered? As expected of a soul saint, he had not released a single bit of soul power from the time he entered the door until now, but he could easily see the result. Recommended reading / chapter 52. Be my agent. 2. Kid, what are you looking at? Flanders felt that the forces behind Tang Lin were not simple, so he spoke in a more friendly tone. Uncle, do you collect antiques here? Tang Lin asked with a harmless look. Uncle? Haha, you kid is quite sweet. Flanders said with a slight smile. At his age, he could almost be Tang Lin's grandfather, but Tang Lin called him uncle, which felt very comfortable. I also collect some antiques here, but it depends on what kind of antiques they are. Is it possible that you have any antiques that you want to sell to my uncle? Flanders found it interesting. Is it possible that a 6-year-old child can also do business? Then you are really good. Yes, I have something here. I don't know how much it is worth. Uncle, help me take a look. If it is suitable, I can sell it to my uncle. Tang Lin nodded and smiled, looking very happy. Then he took out the most valuable Lynxy inner armor and handed it to Flanders. Flanders took over the seemingly inconspicuous new Lynxy inner armor, felt its energy fluctuations, and was slightly surprised. I secretly sighed that this boy Tang Lin was really not that simple. At his age, he could even use this kind of soul guidance device. After putting it on under the guidance of Tang Lin, Flanders was even more surprised. Using his soul power to get in touch with the inner armor, he instantly understood the function of this inner armor. It was indeed a defensive inner armor that could be worn by people of almost any body shape, and it could also be hidden in the body. Its main function was it means being able to defend against the attacks of the Soul Master. This is absolutely priceless. How treacherous is Flanders? My heart was already in turmoil, but on the outside, I look calm. After I came over and closed the door gently, I smiled lightly and said, ahem, yes, this is indeed an extremely rare treasure armor. If you sell it to me, you can get silver soul coins. 10,000 Gintama coins? Tang Lin blinked his big eyes and clasped his little fingers to calculate how much these 10,000 gold soul coins were. Flanders was immediately overjoyed. He raised the corner of his mouth, revealing a shining tooth and a sinister smile on his face. Can't there be more? 10,000 silver soul coins is a lot. The price you pay for this little treasure armor really can't be any more. Flanders said with a helpless look. It seemed like he would lose. Gintama coins. Okay then. Tang Lin spread his hands and said helplessly. Flanders was immediately overjoyed. He really met the god of wealth today. He immediately took out Gintama coins and threw them on the table. No, kid, this is yours. Tang Lin looked at it and said, Uncle, this money is not enough. That's right, this is Gintama coins. Take it home and ask your adults to count it for you. How could your uncle lie to you as a child? But uncle just said, gold soul coins. Tang Lin said in surprise. What? Golden soul coin? Flanders was stunned for a moment. Is this a bitch talking about business like this? Looking at Tang Lin's cute and harmless look, he couldn't get angry for a moment. Then he thought about it. If this treasured armor was put up for auction by himself, he should be able to sell it for tens of thousands of gold soul coins. If you're nagging, I'm afraid this guy's going to raise the price again, and then you won't be able to make much of the difference. Are you really sure what I just said was gold soul coins? Flanders asked seriously. Tang Lin bit his finger and thought for a moment. Yeah, I'm sure. Uncle just said gold soul coins. That's right. Flanders immediately frowned. This kid is deliberately playing with me. Whose intelligence are you insulting? Okay, kid, I can't afford this armor of yours. Please sell it elsewhere. Flanders reluctantly handed the armor to Tang Lin and said coldly. 30,000 gold soul coins are really a lot for Flanders. He also had to maintain his Shrek Academy, so he couldn't afford so many gold soul coins at one time. Tang Lin smiled slightly. Flanders probably wouldn't have thought of this. I learned all this from him, right? Haha uncle, we can't do business with justice. How about I talk to uncle about other business? Flanders thought this guy was very interesting, and he wouldn't suffer any loss anyway. I wanted to see what you, a dog, could spit out of your mouth, so he asked, okay, tell me, what do you want to talk to me about? Business? Uncle Flanders, the 7-ringed soul sage, one of the Golden Iron Triangle, and the founder of Shrek Academy, am I right? Tang Lin said with a smile. How do you know about me? Flanders was extremely surprised. Of course I don't know. This is what my family told me. I came here today just to ask Uncle Flanders to be our family's agent in Soto City. Life is like a play. It all depends on acting skills. Tang Lin said it very seriously. He has long had the idea of selling his treasure armor. Firstly, he can accumulate wealth. Secondly, he can accumulate connections and fame to prepare for the establishment of his own power in the future. Soto City is the best place in his mind. It is not only prosperous, but also the border between the two empires. It is also very convenient to travel between the two empires. There is nothing better than accumulating wealth and connections here. And Flanders will be one of his connections. Agent? Flanders was a little surprised again. Point also, who did this kid learn it from? Why does he always talk in the same way? It means selling treasure armor and other things on behalf of my family, and we will give you a part of the kickback. As an uncle's hard work, Shrek Academy has fewer and fewer students today. I believe that in a few years, you may not be able to. Let's keep it going. How about it, uncle, be my agent? Tang Lin is only 6 years old now, and it is not easy to sell the treasure armor himself. It is just right to find Flanders, the soul saint. Even if someone checks, he will be found. Flanders was immediately confused by Tang Lin's words. Wait a minute, you mean there are many such treasured armors in your family? Uncle Store's business isn't very good either. If he becomes our agent, I guarantee that uncle will get at least 20 gold soul coins or something of equivalent value every year. Tang Lin answered the question with a smile. The store in Flanders was so desolate. No one came in for a long time, so there was no business. Tang Lin thought to himself that this was probably because Flanders, a profiteer, had tricked many people. When Flanders heard about the money, he immediately woke up and made a calculation in his mind. 20 gold soul coins. That's a huge amount. This family is too powerful. Flanders was horrified. He originally thought that Tang Lin was ignorant, so he took out the treasured armor given to him by his family and sold it. Who knew that he came here specifically for himself, and it seemed that there were still people in his family. There are many looks. This. He could no longer imagine Tang Lin's background. Could there be anyone in this world who knew how to make a soul guide? But he also had some doubts. If he really wanted to ask me to be his agent, why didn't someone from his family come, but let such a little brat come? There is no free lunch in the world. Is there any conspiracy in this? How about this, uncle? You can go with me to sell this treasured armor first, and then see what the effect is, and then decide not to do it. Tang Lin saw his concerns and spoke. Flanders immediately promised Tang Lin to come down. This could be an opportunity to make a lot of money. Okay, let's sell it now. To sell Baogia for more money, the auction house is undoubtedly the best place. Flanders took Tang Lin to the big auction house in Soto City immediately. Along the way, Flanders also looked around from time to time to see where the person secretly protecting Tang Lin was. Tang Lin is so outstanding, there is no reason why he has no one to protect him. However, nothing was discovered along the way. I thought to myself, he is indeed a master. Tang Lin smiled but said nothing. The door of the auction house is large and semicircular in shape. It is similar to the overall building of the auction house and is milky white. There are several tall girls standing in front of the door. Recommended reading / these girls have obviously been carefully selected. Not only are they all about 1.7 meters tall, but they are also extremely well proportioned. Although they are not stunning, their good looks are still very attractive. They look like they are no more than 20 years old. Seeing Tang Lin and the others walking straight towards them, a young girl took a few steps forward, bowed slightly and said, "Sir, do you need any help?" Chapter 53. Ground Bending Technique 3. We are here to sell stuff. Please come with me, my lord. The girl said respectfully, and then led Tang Lin and the others into the auction house. The auction house is large and winding, and the girl who leads the way is very professional. She will stop every 10 steps or so, and make a please gesture, to guide the direction accurately. After bringing Tang Lin and the two of them to a reception hall, she said, "Sir, please wait here, while I go ask the appraiser to come over." There was also a young lady here serving tea and water. Tang Lin and the others sat down, and waited for a while. An appraiser about 30 years old came and said, "I wonder what this gentleman needs to auction." Flender took out the Lynxy inner armor to him, and told the appraiser what Tang Lin said. This treasure armor is too precious. I'm afraid that my appraisal level is not enough, and I cannot be the master. Please wait a moment, distinguished guest, and I will ask our appraisal master to come over." The middle-aged appraiser was shocked when he heard it. He was just a small appraiser. How could he be in charge of such a precious thing? "Hurry up." Flanders frowned and said impatiently. Seeing that Flanders was a little unhappy, the appraiser was startled and immediately sped out. The efficiency of the auction house was indeed very fast. A few minutes later, an appraiser about 50 years old appeared. He was considered one of the top appraisers in the auction house. Although his status is unusual, his tone is extremely polite when speaking to guests soon. He put on his inner armor and was extremely surprised for a moment when he heard what the appraiser said before. He still couldn't believe it, and he still felt that way now. Is there really such an ingenious soul guide in this world? He quickly came to the appraisal room and said to a soul master, "Come on, try attacking me with your first soul skill with all your strength." "Sir, just attack me with all your strength." This soul master's attack power is relatively weak, and the appraisal master is also a soul master, so even if the treasure armor is not that effective, he will be fine. Yes. Soul Lord had no choice but to attack him. Oh. After the blow, the old appraiser patted his chest and expressed doubt. "Are you afraid of hurting me? Are you sure you used your full strength?" After trying it several times, and later using to attack type war spirit masters, he finally determined the defensive power of this treasured armor. Coming out of the appraisal room, He showed even more respect for Flanders. He cupped his hands and said with a smile, "Dear guest, are you sure you want to auction it off?" "That's right. It's best to auction it off tonight. The starting price is just 1 gold soul coin," Flanders said according to Tang Lin's instructions. "Well, we originally set the starting price of this treasured armor at gold soul coins, but since the distinguished guest has such a request, we will auction it according to the distinguished guest's request. Anyway, this treasured armor will be auctioned today. It should all fetch a high price tonight," the old appraiser said cautiously. Flanders was shocked. The starting price alone was gold soul coins. 30,000 gold soul coins is not a small amount. Damn it, what a loss. If I had known just now, even if I borrowed some money from Mr. Wang next door, I would have bought it with this brat. Alas, I regret it. Please, distinguished guest, come with me to go through the formalities. Your precious armor will definitely appear at the auction on time tonight. In Socho City, Liang Kia returned home. "Kia, you're finally back. Mom and dad miss you so much. How are you? You're not hurt, are you?" Father asked. With Uncle Feng's protection, of course Kia will not be hurt. Liang Kia smiled. Although she is already a girl in her teens or 20s, she is still like a child in front of her parents. "Then tell us what your third soul skill is like." "We found a rare soul beast this time, the fire spirit beast. The young master of the K family gave it to me first. The third soul skill I got is called the Fire of Nirvana, which can provide recovery treatment for others." Liang Kia told his parents about his soul skills and what happened along the way. The maid Ting Ting would also add a few words beside her from time to time. The family had a great time chatting. "Okay, Kia, you stay at home with your mother. Dad has something to do and has to go to the auction house." At the same time, the K family in Soto City. "Master, I squatted near that shop for a while." Later, the boy was taken to the auction house by a middle-aged man and was not seen for a long time. "Auction house?" K Wenz asked in surprise. He asked his subordinates to follow Tang Lin because he wanted to find out about Tang Lin's background. If he really had any background, he asked his younger brother to find a way to be friends with him since childhood point. If he has no background, then he must be taught a lesson and let him take advantage of me. "Kia, come on. I just want to go to the auction house to see if there is anything good that I can buy for my Kia." Auction house. After all the matters were discussed and the procedures completed, Flender put on the mask given by the auction house and the two of them, led by the young lady, went to the VIP seats on the second floor of the auction house. This is just an ordinary VIP seat at the auction house. There are also VIP seats upstairs worth 100,000, 1 million, and 10 million. The VIP seat is an independent room. When you open the screen in front, you can see the auction table below. The auction continued. Tang Lin was watching the auction below, sitting on a chair and eating fruit, waiting for his lot. Next to the seat, there are several special price calling buttons. There are several different buttons such as 100, 1000, 10,000, 100,000, etc., representing the price of each additional increase. However, none of the items in the auction was what Tang Lin liked. After looking at them for a while, he still felt bored, so he opened his attribute panel. Kung Fu skills, 18 beats in the circle second level, plus, box energy. 23,333. 18 beats in the circle has reached the second level, and its power is very good, which is enough for him at present. So Tang Lin thought about it, and thought it would be better to use this box for a lottery. What if he draws another powerful skill? Platinum 10 draws in a row. Ding, //. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained a 10,000-year Thunder Dragon Soul Ring, a Space Jasper Earring, a 10,000-year Black Turtle Soul Ring, 3 7th grade Ghost Pattern Masks, and a left arm bone of a 30,000-year-old giant elephant. Left arm bone, the secret of power. 7th grade Ghost Pattern Mask, it can hide the face and change the voice. No one can see through it, except the host and the powerful ones above the Soul Saint level. What the hell? 666. That adds up to 7 items. There is also a 3-year-old left arm bone. Tang Lin immediately jumped up from his chair and laughed. You are so lucky. The prizes are so rich. Flanders secretly observed Tang Lin from the side point. There were many things that he just couldn't figure out. For example, is this kid really only 6 years old? Cough cough. Keep a low profile and calm down. Tang Lin noticed Flanders looking over and realized that he had been too happy just now. Box energy. 13,333. You can still draw one more time from the box. Point lottery is all about luck. Today is the day when you have a lot of luck, so you have to draw quickly. Platinum 10 draws in a row. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the skill flying to the ground, a 4-year-old dragon elephant soul ring, or 3-year-old wind god's right leg bone, a year-old black turtle soul ring, and a year-old green dragon soul ring. Another soul bone. Damn it, I'm getting rich. But what the hell is this flying the ground technique? The art of lying on the ground, the art of concentrating and expelling breath, a necessary skill for hiding and assassination. Practice it to a higher level. Understood. Tang Lin understood. This is another skill that the system has specially customized for itself. Point. It's a pity that the box is not enough now, and it can't be lit yet. The auction below is in full swing. Point. The beautiful lady on the auction stage held a loudspeaker and said to the bidders with a smile, "Next, what we are going to auction is an extremely precious treasure armor. It is also one of the finale treasures of tonight's auction." Tang Lin and Flender immediately raised their heads. It was finally our turn for the Lynxy treasure armor. Chapter 54. Bet. The auctioneer was a hot young lady. While she was talking, another young beauty brought something covered with a red cloth. Apparently this was the auction item she was talking about. Let me first introduce to you this rare treasure armor in the world. The auctioneer did not open the red cloth directly, but introduced first. This treasure armor is an intact soul guidance device. Wearing it on the body can resist the soul. A respectable level attack. As soon as these words came out, many people's eyes lit up. Immediately became interested. At this time, the auctioneer smiled slightly, placed a slender hand on the red cloth, and slowly pulled the red cloth away, gradually revealing the treasure armor inside, and everyone watched. However, the treasure armor they imagined did not appear. Instead, a palm-sized grey-black mini clothes appeared. This really surprised everyone. These are the clothes for elves, right? Why is it so small? The crowd mourned. Everyone read it right. This is the treasured armor I just mentioned. As soon as the words came out, the auction house immediately started talking about it. Some people even think that this auction house is crazy. Tang Lin shook his head and smiled in the VIP seat on the second floor. The auctioneer lady on the stage really knew how to play. Everyone, be quiet and please listen to me. This is the strange thing about this armor. Its basic form is indeed what it is now, but it can become bigger or smaller. The auctioneer nodded to the beautiful woman who had just brought the armor. The beautiful woman opened the box, took out the armor, and showed it around. Everyone, please look clearly. As soon as the auctioneer finished speaking, the treasure armor in the beautiful woman's hand gradually grew larger, and then gradually shrunk. This precious armor can be changed into larger or smaller sizes. Even a beast spirit master can still wear it, after being possessed by a spirit. The entire auction house was in an uproar. VIP seat. I must get this treasured armor. I didn't expect that the final auction item would be such a treasured soul tool. I'm afraid it might be the only one in the world. Although the defense is a bit poor, it is okay as a collectible, and its collection value is great. I must take the photo. With this precious armor, I can make Kyo change his mind about me. K-Wen's imagined in a VIP seat on the third floor. Do you think this is over? The auctioneer smiled, pretending to be mysterious. This treasured armor also has a function. The person who wears it can get in touch with it immediately, and then use his mind to hide the treasured armor in you in the body. At this time, I saw a shirtless young man walking up to the stage. After putting on the Lynxy treasure armor, with a thought, the Lynxy treasure armor instantly disappeared into his body. Another third ring soul master used a soul skill attack to attack his vital chest, but he did not dodge or dodge, and allowed the soul skill attack to hit his chest. He retreated a long way, but unscathed. Everyone took a deep breath. Could it be possible that what the auctioneer said was true? And you can also drop blood to bind it to a master-slave relationship. After binding, you will be the owner of this treasured armor. Even if it unfortunately falls into the hands of others, it doesn't matter, because only with the consent of the treasured armor owner, others can, and if the owner of the treasure armor dies unfortunately, his family can also use his bloodline to gain the right to use the treasure armor again. It can be said that this treasure armor is not a dead thing, but a living and spiritual thing. If you take a photo of it, the whole family can use it. I guarantee the credibility of Soto Auction House, and every word I say, will be it is true. Before the auctioneer had finished speaking, many people attending the auction had already started asking people to go home and get their money. At this moment, many people can't wait. Without further ado, based on the request of the owner of this treasure armor, its starting price is 1 gold soul coin. You can bid as you like. Each increase in price must not be less than 1000 gold soul coins. The one with the highest bid will win. Please start bidding. The auctioneer's impassioned words brought almost everyone's emotions to a climax. I will pay you 5000 gold coins. HMPH, you have the nerve to shout out 5000. You noob. I, Wang Ergao, offer you 15,000. The audience began to shout out the price, and in just a few minutes, the price reached gold soul coins, and no one in the VIP seats had made a bid yet. How about it, Uncle Flanders? Tang Lin casually threw a piece of fruit into his mouth, and said with a smile of enjoyment. Yes, the value of this treasure armor is indeed very good. Flanders said. Tang Lin knew at a glance that Flanders was a person who didn't understand the market. Otherwise, he would have bought it when he was in the store. Uncle Flanders, guess what price this armor will be sold for? 7 to 80,000, no more than 100,000 at most. After all, this treasure armor can only withstand attacks at the Soul Lord level. Flanders said. Tang Lin shook his head, but I think this treasure armor can be sold for at least 15 to 20 gold soul coins, and it may even be higher. It's not impossible that it's so high that you can't imagine it. You little brat, you want to eat shit. The value of this treasure armor is there. It will not exceed 100,000 gold soul coins at most. Do you think that 100,000 gold soul coins can be taken by anyone casually? Can you get it? 100,000 gold soul coins is still a huge sum of money even for a strong soul saint. Flanders said disdainfully. Haha, are Uncle Flanders talking about yourself? Tang Lin laughed. Flanders suddenly looked a little embarrassed. Uncle Flender, how about we make a bet? Tang Lin thought for a while and suddenly said. Oh, what bet? Bet on the price of this armor. If it's less than 20, I'll give you 10 pieces of armor that are 10 times better than this. If it's less than 20, my uncle will promise me that within 5 years, I'll give you 10 pieces of armor that are 10 times better than this. I sell treasure armor in Soto City. Of course, the reward will definitely satisfy you. And uncle, you don't have to worry about anything. We are just doing business. Flanders thought for a moment. The defensive function of this treasure armor is not very strong, but its other functions are flashy. Who would be willing to spend 20 to buy it? It is not that there are no treasured armors with this kind of defensive power on the Douluo continent. There are even treasured armors that are much stronger than this. Even if this treasured armor is a bit novel, it can still be sold for up to 22 yuan. How is possible? If he wins, he can get 10 pieces of armor that are better than this. Wouldn't he be rich? Even if he loses, what if he sells the armor for his family? It doesn't take much time anyway, and there is money to be made. It's a bet. Flanders said. Hearing these two words, Tang Lin smiled proudly. Don't be complacent. Take a look at the situation for yourself. When they bid at 20, or they had already held the card for a long time, and each time they took a long time to add gold soul coins is on the line, and is estimated to be it's impossible. Just prepare 10 better pieces of armor for me. Heavy Flanders said with a sinister smile. Uncle, there are still many people in the VIP seats who haven't bid yet. There's no rush. There's no rush. Tang Lin said confidently. At this time, at the VIP table, K-Wen saw that it took a long time to add 1000, and the stalemate came down, so he stood up and said loudly, I will offer 100,000. He didn't wear a mask, and he didn't press the button on the seat to increase the price. Instead, he stood up directly and bid the same price as the people holding placards in the field, raising the price by gold soul coins. Flanders laughed and said, "Boy, did you see that? That is the only descendant of the K family in Soto City. The K family is a powerful force in Soto City and has a lot of money. I'm afraid not many people here dare to bid with him. Come on." The auctioneer frowned slightly. Tang Lin was also a little surprised. Why is this guy here? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55. Dust Settled. Is there no other powerful force in Soto City that dares to challenge the K family? Tang Lin asked. Of course there is, and there are quite a few. If I have enough money, I can also bid directly. But, who would be willing to offend a powerful family for a mere piece of armor that can only withstand the attack of the Soul Lord? Flanders said. Then I'll be relieved. Tang Lin said. Since there are still many family forces that can challenge the K family, there is no need to worry. The confidentiality measures at the auction house are pretty good. Even if someone bids with him, it shouldn't be easy for him to know who is bidding with him. Flanders glanced at him disdainfully. However, the next moment, he heard the auctioneer below shout loudly, "VIP number 7 bids 105,000 gold soul coins. Here, VIP number 8 will add another 5,000 and bid 11. Is there anything higher?" Someone actually bid against him. K Wenz's face turned red. In the past, as long as he revealed his identity, no one would publicly ask for the price of something he saw at auctions. Why don't these people show any respect to me today? 12 million. Master K bids 12. Everyone here, is there anyone who bids higher? If you buy such a rare treasure, you can give it to your beloved partner and your beloved children. If you miss this opportunity, are you sure you won't feel sorry or regret it for the rest of your life? Okay. VIP number 13 just bid gold soul coins. Is there anyone else who bids higher? K Wenz, I will pay 14. Master K bids 14. VIP number 15 bids again. Flanders was suddenly surprised. If we continue like this, we will lose to this guy Tang Lin. Master, our money can no longer be used to bid, and this defensive armor is not worth so much. If the master finds out, I'm afraid. The subordinate dissuaded. K Wenz was slightly angry, but there was nothing he could do. He really doesn't have that much money now. And he was not willing to spend so much money just to buy a rare gift for Kira. VIP number 17 bids. 20,000 gold soul coins were added in one go. Everyone was extremely horrified. K Wenz sighed, put down the curtain, and returned to his seat dejectedly. This piece of treasure armor can only resist Soul Lord level attacks. 17, which is far beyond its value. After finding an excuse, he stopped bidding. I didn't expect that this precious armor worth only 100,000 could actually fetch such a high price. I really don't understand the world of rich people. Flanders shook his head. Tang Lin smiled and said, value determines price. Different people have different values. For example, in the eyes of ordinary people, this treasure armor is worth at most 1,000 gold soul coins, because they may not earn thousands of gold soul coins in their lifetime. In the eyes of a soul master, it is worth 1,000 gold soul coins, tens of thousands or even 100,000 gold soul coins. And its value is the same in the eyes of rich soul masters or wealthy civilians. They are also rich people, but in the eyes of wealthy civilians, its value is higher, because it may be able to save their lives at a critical moment. Then they can spend the same money to buy armor that can resist the attacks of the soul sect. Flanders doubted. Starter things are rare and precious. Other armors are completely incomparable to mine. And even if they have money, can they really buy it? Such life-saving things are almost always controlled by a few powerful people. In the hands of some big forces, they rarely sell them. Tang Lin said. There are indeed some armors on the market with extremely strong defensive capabilities, but most of them are sold by the powerful when they have no choice but to be snapped up by people as soon as they are taken out. Even if you have money, it is difficult for you to buy them in time. Moreover, those precious armors are almost all extremely heavy and cannot be changed in size. They are completely different from the precious armors in Tang Lin's hands. Tang Lin knew that the foundry master of Zhengzheng City did have an 8 treasure Ruai soft armor that could defend against the full attack of a 60 level soul master, but it was absolutely unique in the world. And it's not as good as what comes in a box. VIP number 20 bids. Yuan. Is there anyone who continues to bid? This soul guide may be the only one in the world. You can imagine its rarity. Off the field, the beautiful auctioneer shouted excitedly. Uncle Flanders, within the next 5 years, you will be an employee of my family. Congratulations. Tang Lin chuckled. The corner of Flanders' mouth twitched, as if he had been on a pirate ship. However, he could intuitively feel that Tang Lin had no ill intentions towards him. It might be a good thing to be able to associate with such a family of peerless geniuses. The bidding below still kept going, but it had gradually slowed down, and in the end only 3 or 4 companies were increasing their prices. VIP seat no. Left square bracket dash right square bracket. There is a rich man in this VIP room, but he is not a soul master, so this treasured armor is unusually attractive to him. Sir, the price for this armor has already reached 20 yuan. Why is there still someone raising the price? Is it really worth it? What do you know? Where else can you buy this kind of life-saving armor on the market now? Even if you can buy it, it won't be as magical as this one. If you wear it, no one will know. The money is gone. You can make it again. If you miss this treasure armor, won't you really regret it for half your life? As he said that, he pressed the price increase button with a pop sound, which made the subordinate next to him feel pain. The subordinates think that with so much money, it is better to hire a more powerful soul master for protection. If you buy such a treasure armor, won't you have to be cold when meeting the soul sect? He did not expect that this treasured armor was a permanent item, and hiring a soul master to protect it would require continuous investment of money. The bid for VIP seat number 22 is, at this time, in the VIP seat no. A middle-aged man frowned and was considering whether to increase the price. Clan leader, we really can't raise the price, otherwise the elders in the family will have objections. The tribesmen tried their best to persuade him, but when he thought of his lovely little daughter, he felt that the money could be spent. If there is such a treasure armor, even if I'm not with her, I can feel more at ease. He gritted his teeth and added another 5,000 gold soul coins. Flanders was speechless when he heard the bidding below. Oh, uncle, you really don't understand the world of rich people. Really, rich people don't care about such a small amount of money. Tang Lin sighed. Imagine it for yourself. If you have a family fortune of millions or even tens of millions, and you happen to have a lovely daughter who is 2 or 3 years old, you will be reluctant to buy a piece of gold soul coin for her with only a dozen or 20 gold soul coins. Life-saving in her armor? Even if it's just to let her wear it, she won't be injured if she accidentally falls. I'm sure she'll be willing to give it up. Will I have so much money in my life? Flanders couldn't even think about it. After all, it is extremely difficult to maintain a Shrek Academy by yourself now. Although Tang Lin also feels that there may not be such rich people with tens of millions of dollars in this world, there must be fathers who love their children and husbands who love their wives. This is just what we suddenly put up for auction, and the people here are just some of the rich people in Soto City, and maybe they are not the real rich people. If we let the auction house publicize it for a few days, then people will come to participate in the auction. There will only be more rich people, and the prices will only be higher. Tang Lin said. Flanders' scalp felt numb just thinking about it. With several companies competing with each other, the price slowly reached 28. At this time, no one on the market seemed willing to bid anymore. However, a piece of Linksy in Arama can buy 28 gold soul coins, and Tang Lin is already satisfied. Is there any VIP who bids again? 28 once. 28 twice. 28. VIP seat number 30 bids. Just when it was about to be finalized, the bid for VIP seat number 30 was immediately raised too. The scene was suddenly in an uproar, and I couldn't control it. VIP seat no. Left square bracket dash right square bracket. A white-haired old man in his 60s looked at his subordinates next to the price increase button with an angry look. The laborer went to pee and came back, and almost missed this rare treasure. Do you know how valuable this treasure is for collection? You are really a bunch of trash. Come on, someone tell me, why didn't you help me just now? Increase the price. This old man is the richest person participating in the auction tonight. He is a collector. When he has nothing to do, he likes to participate in various auctions. When he encounters something he likes, he takes pictures and collects them. At last, this white-haired old man, with a high price of 38 gold soul coins, without any suspense, bought this lynxy inner armor that everyone thought was very rare. He was very happy. When the people at the auction house delivered the armor to him, he was so excited that his hands trembled slightly as he carefully stroked the armor and experienced its various magical functions. If this is really the only thing in the world, then he really made money tonight. Unfortunately, a few days later, he began to regret it. Chapter 56. Promoted to Palace Master? When this treasured armor was photographed for 38 gold soul coins, Flanders' flesh twitched slightly. He never expected that this inner armor could be photographed for 38 gold soul coins. At first, I wanted to buy it from Tang Lin for silver soul coins. Just thinking about it made me feel like I was falling into a dream. Tang Lin remained silent. At first, he couldn't understand why this piece of armor could be worth so much. Is there really a multimillionaire here? But when he thought about the possibility of collectors, it all made sense. For collectors, this inner armor is unique, and they are willing to buy it back for collection regardless of how much money they have. The person in VIP seat might be a collector. If there are still people here bidding with him, the price seems to be more than even higher. Tang Lin was also happy to be able to sell it at a high price. Others are no longer within the scope of his consideration, because the identity of the seller or buyer will not be revealed to others at the auction. Tang Lin took out a ghost patterned mask from his backpack that he had just drawn in a lottery. The mask was densely covered with magical lines and had a slightly sinister and strange appearance. People would have the urge to stay away from it. Uncle, take this and try it. Huh? What kind of mask is this? It looks weird. Flanders frowned. Would you know if you try it on? Flanders took it, and after putting it on, he realized that this mask was actually an extremely rare soul tool. After binding it to yourself, you can even change your voice. I'll give this to you. Tang Lin said. You gave me such an expensive thing directly? However, Flender immediately understood Tang Lin's intention and would sell inner armor for him in the future. This mask was the best tool to hide his identity. Flanders said in another magnetic voice, this mask is good. It will be much easier to come out in the future. Tang Lin chuckled. After all, these things are produced by the system. Dong dong dong. At this time, there was a gentle knock on the door. Tang Lin nodded to Flender, who put on his mask and said, come in. The door opened, and a middle-aged man of about 40 years old came in. Two beautiful young ladies closed the door behind him and went out. The middle-aged man was slightly fat and also wore a pair of glasses. As soon as he came in, he laughed enthusiastically and said, I'm the person in charge of the auction house, Liang Shan. The people under my command were really ignorant before, so I have to condescend to you in the VIP room on the second floor. I'm really sorry. I thought it was a young lady who sent me the 38 gold soul coins, but unexpectedly it was the owner of the auction house who came. Flanders was also a little more polite. It doesn't matter, it will be the same wherever you sit. Hey, how can this be done? To express my apology, our auction house will not take any penny from the treasure armor that was auctioned by us this time. This is a purple pattern gold dragon pattern card, and 38 gold soul coins have been deposited in it. From now on, Zunji will, if there are any items you want to auction, I hope you can contact us as soon as possible. Liang Shan said. For the 38 gold soul coins, the auction house could have taken a 5.00% point, which was gold soul coins, but in order to make friends with the seller, he actually said he didn't want it. Tang Lin sighed inwardly. The people in this auction house really know how to do business. Flanders also thought to himself, the people in this auction house must be too rich. They have almost gold soul coins, and they actually don't want it. If it were me, I would definitely. Flanders grinned. Boss Liang is really a cheerful person. I like it. It just so happens that I also have some business here that I need to talk to Boss Liang. Hahaha. Okay, no problem. Even this kind of precious armor can be sold casually. Liang Shan notes that Flanders has a good background point, knowing that Flanders was unwilling to take off his mask, he very wisely took Flanders and Tang Lin to a relatively private reception room to receive them. Tang Lin could feel that he was different from other profiteers. He was indeed a very smart businessman. No wonder this big auction house can be run so well. I wonder what you need to auction this time. Liang Shan poured a cup of tea for Flanders and said. On the way to the reception room, the two of them had been talking. Flanders had been wearing a ghost pattern mask and claimed that he was an idle soul master. Although Liang Shan didn't believe it, he also knew that Flanders must be a powerful soul master. Therefore, Flanders is also called Sir. It's the same Linksy treasure armor as the one I took just now. Flanders took a sip and said, hiss. Could it be, sir, there is more than one? Liang Shan said in surprise, but then he realized that he had said the wrong thing. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I was too surprised for a moment and asked something I shouldn't have asked. It's okay. In 3 days, at this time, I will auction this treasure armor. I hope Boss Liang can help me advertise in these 3 days. If the cooperation is pleasant, there will be opportunities to cooperate in the future. Flanders smiled wrote. Don't worry, sir, I will do my best. I dare not say anything else. Within 3 days, all the wealthy people in Soto City will receive invitations from my auction house, Liang Shan said. Knowing that Flanders might have many such treasures on his body, Liang Shan immediately smelled a business opportunity. This was definitely a big customer. I have a little more respect for Flanders. After a few polite remarks, Flanders quietly left the auction house with Tang Lin. After turning several corners, he returned to his shop, then reluctantly took out the purple and gold dragon pattern card from his pocket and handed it to Tang Lin. Tang Lin took it, played with it in his hand and thought it was not interesting, then threw it to Flanders. You can just take the 38 gold soul coins first. It can be regarded as the deposit paid by our family to you. A deposit of 38. But think about it, their family can even produce so many soul tools, but they still care about a mere 38 gold soul coins? Flanders took it happily. Don't worry, with this ghost pattern mask, no one will find me when I sell the armor in the future. He spoke in a neither loud nor quiet voice, as if he was talking to Tang Lin, and also seemed to be talking to the master he imagined in the air. Until now, he still felt that there should be a master secretly transmitting messages to guide Tang Lin. Otherwise, how could a 6-year-old child do this? By doing this, they should be training Tang Lin, a peerless genius. Night. Tang Lin opened his backpack and looked at the soul ring in it. From the time he obtained the soul ring of this 1000-year-old ironclad black turtle until now, he had been following Liang Kia first, and then Flanders, so he had no time to absorb this soul ring. Now, I finally have time to absorb this soul ring. With a thought, a purple pill appeared in his hand. This was the Millennium Iron Armored Black Turtle soul ring. After the soul ring is scanned by the system, it will turn into a pill, which can be stored permanently and even be absorbed and used by others. Tang Lin swallowed the pill, slowly refined it and absorbed it. 3 days later, when Flanders saw Tang Lin again, he found that his soul power had exceeded level. This shows that he is already a 2nd level soul master. After only 2 or 3 days of absence, Tang Lin actually obtained the 2nd soul ring and became a great soul master. Flanders looked up at the sky. What's wrong with this world? There is such an incredible genius. Recently, several eye-catching things happened in Soto City, 2 of which were related to Tang Lin. First, at the Soto City auction house, a rare peerless treasure armor, a defensive soul tool, appeared in the auction house, which was bought by someone for a high price of 38 gold soul coins. Second, the auction house will once again auction a treasure armor that is exactly the same as the one that appeared before tonight. Most of the powerful and wealthy people in Soto City received invitations to the auction house. People began to wonder, has anyone in this world mastered the method of making soul guides? This is a big deal. The auction house was overcrowded for a while. Third, Wei Manxi, the deputy master of the Wuhan main hall in Soto City, has been officially promoted to the master of the hall. The promotion ceremony will be held 3 days later, and everyone is sincerely invited to attend the ceremony. Tang Lin thought. The Suimanxi had just gone to the Stardow forest to hunt soul beasts, but he didn't expect to come back so soon, and also directly changed from Deputy Palace Master to Palace Master, which was a bit interesting. I hope Flanders won't be targeted by her in the future. Chapter 57. Vimancy. Soto City, Spirit Hall. In the magnificent hall, Manxi finally got what he wanted and sat on the throne of the Lord of the Spirit Hall. Here is a symbol of power. Congratulations to the Palace Master for obtaining the 10,000-year Soul Ring, entering the ranks of Soul Emperors, and successfully being promoted to the Master of the main palace. All of Vimansi's confidants congratulated him. Manxi nodded. I heard that in the past 2 days, a peerless armor appeared at the auction house in Soto City, and it was also a soul guide. My subordinate was at the auction site at the time. There is no doubt about this. Although the treasured armor is only the size of a palm, you can control its size with your soul power. After wearing it, you can even disappear into a person's body. This is all with my own eyes. What you see. I don't know who was willing to put such a rare treasure armor up for auction. Unfortunately, it was bought back by an unknown person at a high price of 38 gold soul coins. Otherwise, my subordinates really want to see it. Why is this treasured armor so magical? My subordinates have also heard about it, and there is an identical treasure armor that will also appear at the auction tonight. The people of the auction also sent an invitation to our Wuhan palace in the morning. I wonder if the palace master wants to go take a look. Vimansi originally thought that this matter was completely false. Unexpectedly, after asking, it seemed that it was indeed true. These subordinates were all confidants and would not lie to her. It's just that, whether this matter is true or not needs to be verified. It is said that hearing is false and seeing is believing. If this is really the case, then it must be reported to the Pope. Then let's go see it tonight. In the evening, the auction house, Tang Lin and Flanders took their seats at the number 12 VIP seats. After Liangshan finished what he was doing, he had nothing to do, so he came to the VIP table to chat with Flanders. The distinguished guests of the auction took their seats one after another. Some wore masks and hoods to hide their identities, and some maids and servants are in groups, all showing their identity. Tang Lin just sat next to him, meditating and practicing with his eyes closed, as if everything outside had nothing to do with him. Although Liangshan met Tang Lin several times, he didn't know Tang Lin's name. If Flanders didn't tell him, he was too embarrassed to ask. This was the most basic respect for the distinguished guest. At this time, a maid came in from the door and whispered in Liangshan's ear, "Master, Miss Kia has come to the auction house." Although the voice was very low, Flanders and Tang Lin sitting nearby could hear it. Tang Lin was a little surprised. It turned out that Liangshan was actually Liang Qia's father. Judging from the situation, when they met Manxi in the Stardow forest that day, their relationship with Wuhan Palace was not so harmonious. Tang Lin felt even more relieved now. This shows that the backstage of this auction house is most likely an empire. To be more precise, it should be the Balak Kingdom, not the Spirit Hall. When Liangshan heard this, why did this girl come here? To join in the fun, say goodbye to Flanders immediately and come out. Today's auction is extremely lively. Who doesn't want to come and take a look at the legendary treasure armor? Not long after Liangshan left, the auction officially began, and the auctioneer was still the beautiful auctioneer with a slim figure from before. Due to Tang Lin's treasure armor and the publicity of the auction house, there were many more items in the auction house today than usual. Even some wealthy people who were looking for money began to come to the auction. About 2 hours passed. Today's main course is finally here. For a moment, there was a lot of noise on the field. Link's inner armor was so popular. Manxi in the VIP seat now opened her eyes. Has she finally arrived at the grand finale? Palace Master, it's that soul guide. On the auction stage, the auctioneer opened the red cloth as usual, and Manxi's subordinates immediately said excitedly, "I believe that everyone has heard about this lot, and some people have even seen its magical functions in the past 2 days. But next, our auction house will show it to everyone," said the auctioneer. After saying that, a strong man came up to the stage and demonstrated the function of the armor to everyone in the same way. People who have seen it once are still amazed in their hearts, and people who see it for the first time are even more shocked. I didn't expect there to be such a magical soul guide. Looking at this brand new look, it doesn't seem like a remnant of history. Is it possible that someone in the mainland has actually obtained the method of making a soul guide? Wei Maxi was shocked and said, also full of doubts. This matter must be reported to the superiors as soon as possible. She made her decision immediately. I won't say any more nonsense. The starting price of this treasure armor is gold soul coins. Each bid must not be less than gold soul coins. Everyone, if you want to get it, start bidding. The auctioneer wrote. The starting price is already as high as gold soul coins, which makes many people stay away, shake their heads and sigh. However, this does not affect other people's bidding at all. The bidding price has reached 15. Before I knew it. Liao Jun, how much money do we have now? Vimanshi asked immediately. Liao Jun is now her manager, and he knows more about finances than she does. Palace Master, we still have 18 gold soul coins to use. Liao Jun said. 18. The first one sold for 38. No matter how much you say, this one costs more than 10,000 plus. We only have 18, so I'm afraid we won't be able to buy it. Wei Maxi sighed. Palace Master, this is just a piece of treasure armor that can resist the attack of the Soul Lord. What is the use of buying it? A subordinate scratched his head and couldn't figure it out, so he asked. The treasure armor is not the point is that it is a soul guide. Moreover, it has never appeared in mainland China, and people have never even heard of its functions. Vimansi ignored him, he was just a fool. She is now trying to figure out how to buy one. Palace Master, the auction house can still advance us 2 gold soul coins. Liao Jun said. 5 to 80,000, plus her 18, it's 10,000 plus, then try it. I bid 20 million. Vimansi opened the curtain, stood up and said loudly, I hope you can sell it to me at Wuhan Palace. We at Wuhan Palace really need this treasured armor. I can't thank you enough for this little lady. Wei Maxi suddenly raised the price by yuan and moved out of the Wuhan Palace at the same time, hoping that this would allow her to get her wish and get this treasured armor. Tang Lin smiled slightly. With Liang Shen's mind, since he had invited people from Wuhan Palace, he should have corresponding measures. Otherwise, if a person with status jumps out and no one else dares to bid with him, how will he do business and make money in the future at the auction house, as predicted? Someone asked on the spot, may I ask this auctioneer, in the past few days, this treasure armor has been the second treasure armor auctioned by your auction house. Does this mean that there are many more like this in your auction house? Baojia. Someone else nodded and said, if this is the case, we are also willing to sell the faces of the lords of Wuhan Palace, and we can take action next time. The auctioneer couldn't help but smile. A few of you are joking, we don't have this kind of armor in the auction house, we just auction it for others. But you can think about it, even if this kind of armor really exists, what kind of treasure armor will there be? How many? In that case, the one with the highest price will get it. The spirit hall can't use its power to overwhelm others, right? Wei Max's face suddenly turned red. Are these people bullying her just after she took office and she has not yet secured her position as the leader of the spirit hall? Recommended reading / everyone didn't give her face, and she also knew that this was the auction house's method. As long as a few people didn't give her face to bid with her, others would follow suit. She wasn't prepared enough today. This treasured armor has no fate with Wuhan Palace. Chapter 58. Long-term cooperation. Although Wei Maxi knew that this was the fault of the auction house, she could not do anything about the auction house. After all, this auction house was the largest auction house in Soto City, and it still had some background. Helpless, she could only take the people and leave. However, the auction house did not give her face today, which made her a little embarrassed in front of everyone, and she has already remembered it in her heart. There is ample time. From now on in the city of Soto, we all have plenty of time to communicate. Seeing this, Tang Lin was no longer interested in what happened next. The Lingxi inner armor is just the least valuable inner armor on his body. It doesn't matter how much it can be sold for. The most important thing is to let everyone know that there are people in Douluo continent who have this kind of magical treasure armor. This kind of rare armor soul guide, that's enough. Finally, this Lingxi inner armor was bought by a mysterious rich man for a high price of 42. Many people on the field felt very sorry. Some people also blame themselves for not working hard to make money, so they lost this treasure at this critical moment. Of course there are people who are happy, and buyers are just one of them. The Soto auction house is the second one. The popularity of the auction house has reached a new height today, and with it the popularity has also increased, and the business will only be better in the future. Flanders is the third one. Tang Lin pays him a salary. He finally has money. He can pay salaries to the staff and teachers of his college, and provide more food for the students. Uncle Flanders, people in my family, told me that Boss Liangshan can be trusted. I hope that Uncle Flanders will contact him in the future. Tang Lin said with a smile. This inner armor will definitely attract some people's attention, and they will inevitably come to the auction house to find out who the seller is. If you only have contact with one person in Liangshan, you can minimize the risk of exposure. Flanders also understood this. He nodded and said, has your family finally decided to cooperate with Soto auction house for a long time? Tang Lin said yes. Then I started talking to Flender about some cooperation matters soon. Liangshan visited again. The 42 gold soul coins, after deducting 5%, the remaining 40 gold soul coins have been put into the Lord's purple gold dragon pattern card. I hope this transaction can satisfy the Lord. Liangshan said. Today, even the master of the Wuhan Lord Hall was pissed off by your auction house. Naturally, I'm satisfied with this transaction. Flanders said with a smile. We didn't get angry at them, it's just that those wealthy businessmen like this precious armor of yours too much. Liangshan quickly denied it, and said with a smile. Boss Liang is right. But from now on, I will have to cooperate with Boss Liang. Flanders said with a smile. I'm very happy. Liangshan said. Flanders came closer, and whispered a few words in Liangshan's ear. Liangshan's breathing immediately became a little faster. Then he called a maid, and asked her to quickly go to the audience, to bring a message to the auctioneer. Then she said to Flanders with great enthusiasm, Sir, let's go to the reception room to talk in detail. Auction table. The auctioneer was still explaining the auction items to everyone. After receiving the message from the maid, his body trembled. Dear guests, I need to temporarily interrupt the auction here, because I just received a message from the person in charge of this auction house. He asked me to tell you that today's Baojia group did not take any photos. Please don't feel sorry, because it has been a month. After that, our Soto auction house will put out an identical piece of armor for auction again. I hope everyone can get what they want in a month. K family. Master, my subordinate saw that boy entering the Soto auction house again. Do we still want to go to the auction house tonight? The subordinate asked. Snapped. Are you stupid? I was beaten by my father 2 days ago. He has already ordered me not to leave home. If you still want me to go out now, aren't you asking me to die? Get out. K Wenz immediately slapped him and shouted. The subordinate covered his left cheek, which was red and swollen from being slapped, and retreated obediently. K Wenz has been pursuing Liang Kia for the past 2 days, but Liang Kia ignored him at all, which made him uncomfortable. At the same time, his father became more and more indifferent to him, knowing that he wanted to spend 10,000 plus gold soul coins to buy a Lingxi inner armor. At that time, I was educated again. He is in a very bad mood now. Tang Lin, you brat, I want to see what your background is. You can actually enter the auction house and join in the fun. Then they sent people to squat at the entrance of the auction house. After discussing with Liangshan, Flender came out of the auction house with Tang Lin. Tang Lin put all the armor in his backpack that could only resist Soul Lord's attacks into the space ring and handed it to Flanders. This is the Space Na Ring, a top quality soul guidance device. It is much more valuable than those inner armors. But now I can lend it to Uncle Flanders. If Uncle Flanders wants it, he can work for my family. Tang Lin smiled like an adult. Hiss, is this a space soul guide? Flanders' eyes lit up. He knew about the Space Soul Guide point, because he knew that the belt of the master was a Space Soul Guide. However, when he learned about the space capacity of this space ring, he was shocked. This gadget actually has such a large storage space. The master's belt is only 24 cubic meters, and it is divided into 24 independent spaces. This thing is absolutely priceless. This ring is full of defensive inner armor. When the time comes, Uncle only needs to send the inner armor to the auction, How's one day in advance? When it is sold out, I will come back to Uncle Flanders, Tang Lin said. He has already told Flender that from now on he will only sell one piece per month, and there will be a dozen rings inside, enough to sell for more than a year. Flanders took it, and there were a dozen pieces in total. He was surprised and joked, "Aren't you afraid that I will take these precious armors of yours and disappear with you? First of all, I don't think Uncle Flanders is such a person. Secondly, Uncle Flanders won't be so stupid. It would be better to make more money by cooperating with our family for a long time if he swallows these treasures. Moreover, if he swallows them, he will be punished by our family. The chase, Uncle Flanders, does he think he can really run away?" Tang Lin said with a smile. Flanders laughed. Of course he wouldn't do that. To sell inner armor to Tang Lin, he only needs to show up wearing a mask once a month. In 1 year, he can harvest 32 gold soul coins, as well as these priceless things Tang Lin gave him. Why not? He already regards Tang Lin as his money-giving boy. The two of them were walking down the street. At this moment, several men in black suddenly appeared from the dark corner, surrounding Tang Lin and Flanders. "This friend, our family has feelings for you," the visitor said solemnly. Flanders frowned. Did someone discover that he was the seller of the treasure armor so quickly? Tang Lin thought this was impossible. The benefits that Flender can bring to the auction house are definitely not small. The auction house is not that stupid, and Liang Shan is not such a person either. Besides, even Liang Shan has never seen Flender's face, so it's impossible for anyone to know. Tang Lin thought about it and could only think of one possibility point. Then he whispered a few words to Flanders. Flanders said immediately, "Since your master wants to see me, then ask him to come to me and get out of the way." Then he walked out step by step, and with every step he took, a soul ring immediately appeared. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, and black point. There are a total of 7 optimally matched soul rings, all of which will be released after 7 steps. The shining soul ring illuminated the dark street corner, and Tang Lin could see that the man in black had a look of horror on his face. In this way, a few people stayed there for a while, and Flanders and Tang Lin left without even looking at them. Chapter 59. 4 years later. K family. Several men in black came back to resume their duties. "Master, the person next to that boy is really not simple. He is actually a 7-ringed soul saint." "Soul saint?" K Wen said in surprise. "Tang Lin is indeed not simple." "Flanders grocery store. Are they really from the K family?" Tang Lin smiled. Flanders just listened to Tang Lin's words and quietly followed the men in black back, only to finally find out that they were from K Wen's, the young master of the K family. "How did you, a little brat, offend their young master?" Flanders asked curiously. "I didn't mess with him. He was just jealous that I looked cute and handsome." The next day, everything has been taken care of. Tang Lin decided to leave Soto City and go home. In Soto City today, the birth of treasure armor has been widely spread, and some people say that some people in the mainland have mastered advanced soul guidance device production methods. Tang Lin feels that the current goal has been achieved, and then it is a matter of time. As long as there is enough time, many people on the mainland will know about it, and then his woman will be considered accomplished. Saying goodbye to Flanders, Tang Lin left Soto City and ran towards the deep mountains and forests. When he came to the Star Forest, the normal weight of the lynxy heavy armor on his body was only 70 kilograms. Later, after refining that drop of fire essence, his body underwent a huge change. He directly increased the normal weight of the lynxy heavy armor to 120 pounds. After absorbing the second soul ring, his physical fitness has improved again, and now the weight of heavy armor has increased to more than 160 kilograms. This is just the normal weight. When practicing, he will increase the weight of the lynxy heavy armor on his body. Now the heavy armor on his body weighs more than 250 kilograms. Running in the woods is really one step at a time. 4 years later, noting Intermediate Soul Master Academy. Wang Xiaoshu graduated from the Junior Soul Master Academy 2 years ago and came here. Tang Lin, like him, also came to Notting Intermediate Soul Master Academy 2 years ago. If Tang Lin hadn't wanted to keep a low profile, he would have graduated in the first semester. Today, the two of them are still pervert level geniuses from Notting Intermediate Soul Master Academy. Even some teachers are polite to them when they see them. Perhaps it was because he ate a lot of spirit beast flesh. Tang Lin is only 10 years old, but like 12-year-old Wang Xiaoshu, he is already 1.6 meters tall. With his strong and powerful body and flawless appearance, many girls in the college are in love with him. It's a pity that Tang Lin said, "I don't like sister-brother relationships." It made those young ladies who admired him extremely sad and despairing, and once made them no longer believe in love. The students were listening carefully to the class. Tang Lin was sitting in the corner of the classroom, eyes closed, sitting motionless on his desk, seemingly asleep. If it were in the past, the teacher would definitely not care about him. However, the teacher who came to class today is a new teacher, and he is also the acting head teacher. The original class teacher took time off to go home and give birth to a monkey. This new teacher had just arrived at Notting College to teach, and today was the first time he took over as the acting head teacher. However, he saw Tang Lin sleeping in his class during the first class, and he couldn't help but frowned and shouted, "Tang Lin." Because there are names of students in corresponding seats on the table. So the teacher immediately called out Tang Lin's name. Tang Lin opened his eyes with a "nah" sound and then stood up in a daze. "Teacher, did you call me? You were sleeping just now, weren't you?" "Teacher, I don't have it. I was just thinking about what the teacher said." The teacher saw that she was going through menopause and she must not be messed with. So Tang Lin immediately denied it without thinking. Moreover, Tang Lin did not sleep, he was just meditating and cultivating his soul power no matter what. He respects these dedicated teachers very much. Even if it is a boring lecture, he will not fall asleep in class. At most, he will meditate and practice. "Oh, really? Did I ask you any questions just now? Why don't I know?" the teacher said with a smile. The whole class suddenly burst into laughter. Tang Lin was indeed in a daze. Tang Lin was also a little confused. According to the routine, shouldn't this teacher want to ask me some academic questions? "Teacher, didn't you just say that you want our class to strive to be first in grade in the final exam?" "That's what I was thinking about." When the teacher came in and introduced himself, he mentioned this problem. Fortunately, Tang Lin heard it at that time. "What's the problem?" the teacher asked. "Among the same grade, this class is already considered one of the best. The acting head teacher thinks that, as long as everyone works hard, it shouldn't be a problem to be ranked first in their age, right?" "Teacher, you don't know how powerful Lao Wang is next door. He is also a control soul master. I'm afraid no one in our class can be his opponent," Tang Lin said with a worried look. Lao Wang next door is Wang Xiaoshu, a fighting genius from Notting Academy. When you reach the Intermediate Soul Master Academy, cultural knowledge is no longer important, and the final exam is usually a test of strength. Aren't you also known as one of Notting's 3 geniuses? Why, you can't beat him. John, the squad leader, mocked at this time. Tang Lin came to their class as a genius when he was 8 years old and instantly stole the attention of all the women in the class. He, the squad leader who was usually admired by many girls, was instantly ignored. Moreover, Tang Lin has never shown his strength. Instead, he has the privilege of not having to attend classes or train with them. On the other hand, Wang Xiaoshu also came up from the Junior Soul Master Academy with him, and he would even challenge him 1 to 5 from time to time. The strength has been recognized by everyone. This makes John very unhappy. The male classmates in the class were also jealous. After all, who wouldn't want that privilege? At the same time, everyone also doubts whether this person, who is known as one of the 3 geniuses, is a parallel import or the real thing. There is another genius in Wang Xiaoshu's class, and he is also an assistant. A genius assistant plus a genius soul master of the control system. Alas, there is only one genius like me in our class, so I'm very worried. Tang Lin sighed, rode. Many people in the class suddenly became angry and stared at Tang Lin angrily. Tang Lin was clearly saying that they were all noobs. But the girls in the class didn't care at all. They still admired Tang Lin endlessly. Regardless of his strength, just his good looks have already fascinated them. The beautiful teacher on the podium also understands now. So this Tang Lin is one of the 3 great geniuses of Norden? Suddenly, his favorable impression of Tang Lin doubled, and his attitude changed 360 degrees. He agreed with Tang Lin in a gentle tone and said, "Well, classmate Tang Lin is right. This is indeed a problem." Two of Nording's three geniuses were in one class. Their class only had Tang Lin, a genius whose strength was unknown. It was indeed a bit difficult to get first place in the grade point recommended reading / everyone was a little surprised. Tang Lin had clearly angered the teacher just now. Why did the teacher suddenly change his attitude towards him? Tang Lin smiled slightly. He already understood this truth in his last life. Excellent students are often different in the eyes of teachers. Even if you really fall asleep in class, the teacher will think that you study too hard and are too tired. Not only will he not blame you, but he will also feel sorry for you! Exclamation mark. Chapter 60. Not in college. Arena competition. Tang Lin, did you just come up with a way for our class to get first place in the grade? The acting head teacher asked in an extremely soft tone. Actually, it's not difficult. When we play against their class, as long as we get full marks in the group competition, even if we lose in the team competition, we can still be tied with their class for first place in the grade. Isn't it? Tang Lin said with a smile. The final exam, in addition to some other items, is the most important one. The individual group competition and the class team competition. Get full marks. What are you talking about in your sleep? You haven't woken up yet, right? John said with disdain. Even the teacher strongly agreed with John. Because getting full marks in the arena competition is almost impossible. The rules of the ring competition are that each class sends one person to fight in the ring. If they lose, they will be eliminated. If they win, they will continue to defend the ring until they are defeated. Each win is worth 1 point. If you want to get full points, it means that the class cannot lose even one game. How can this be? There are different types of soul masters in the class. For example, auxiliary weapon soul masters and food soul masters are not good at fighting. Therefore, there will always be winners and losers in the arena competition. It is simply impossible to get full marks. That's right, Tang Lin, what you said is simply a dream. With full marks, I'm afraid no one in the history of Notting College would dare to think anything like this, said a classmate. It's simple. During the arena competition, everyone here doesn't need to go on stage. You just leave the stage to me. As long as I defeat everyone in their class one by one on the arena, won't we get full marks? Tang Lin said. Originally I wanted to keep a low profile. It's a pity that the strength doesn't allow it at all. He has already reached level 30 soul power, and there is no use in staying in Notting City anymore. He had long planned to pass the graduation task at the end of this semester, and then graduate directly from Notting Intermediate Soul Master Academy. Then go out and have some adventure. Anyway, you have to show your strength in the graduation exam anyway, so why not help the class get first place in grade before graduation? Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? You are a genius. Do you think you can go to heaven? They can tire you to death, even if they are tired of fighting. Not to mention they are in the same class. The historical record of Notting College is only 15 consecutive wins, and that person later became a soul saint. Do you think everyone is a fighting genius like the seniors? All kinds of ridiculing and disdainful words were vented by the mad ones, and they suddenly felt very comfortable in their hearts. Even some female classmates who admired Tang Lin felt that Tang Lin was too arrogant and could not get Tang Lin anyway, so they began to disdain Tang Lin. Okay, no matter what, since Tang Lin wants to be the first one, let's do as he says and see how many points he can get. The teacher shouted decisively. Time flies and the final assessment time has arrived. The Intermediate Soul Master Academy is divided into 3 grades. Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu have been in the Intermediate Soul Master Academy for exactly 2 years. They are still first year students, and will become second year students after the end of the semester. Now there are 3 grades, a total of more than 10 or 20 classes, standing neatly in squares on the college's playground. There are many parents around to watch. This lively situation can be compared with Wuhan Temple for a year. Compared with the martial soul awakening ceremony. Other assessment items are very simple, and every class can basically pass it, but in the end, the class ranking depends on the group competition and team competition. Among the first graders, only Tang Lin's class could compete with Wang Xiaoshu's class. Soon, other projects were completed. Next, there will be a group competition to show individual strength first, and then a team competition. However, Wang Xiaoshu's control ability is very outstanding, and he also has an excellent assistant. Even Tang Lin is not sure that he can beat him. That's why he pinned his hopes on fighting in the ring. The final battle of the first grade, the arena competition, has officially begun. In the first match, Tang Lin from the second class will face Luo Jianping from the first class. With the hosts shout, Tang Lin was the first to play directly. I can finally see his strength. I want to see how many points he can score. HMPH, this Luo Jianping is not bad at all. I hope he doesn't overturn in the first game. People who have never seen Tang Lin take action are looking forward to it. Simultaneously, people from both classes were cheering hard for them below. Although some people in the class didn't like Tang Lin, especially the boys. After all, Tang Lin was from his own class, so they would still cheer for him on the ring. The referee announces the start of the game. Luo Jianping, Wuhan Zuan Shugi, level 24 second level battle soul master, please give me your advice. Luo Jianping said proudly. He already had level 24 soul power at the age of 14 or 15. He was already a genius in his family, but he was overshadowed by Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu in school. So he didn't have a good impression of these two people. Even though he knew that Tang Lin was a genius, he was still confident, because he knew that, even if he couldn't beat Tang Lin, he wouldn't be embarrassed. And if he was lucky enough to defeat this genius, Tang Lin, he would be praised by countless people. When the time comes, Xiaoli will. Hehe. Forget the advice. I can educate you for free. Tang Lin said. Of course Luo Jianping and Tang Lin also knew each other. He was the playboy in the next class. That little face is not ordinary handsome, almost comparable to his own. Usually relying on his handsome appearance, he has deceived many girls, and at the same time, he also made many girls sad and shed tears for him. Whether he is a scumbag or not has nothing to do with Tang Lin. The key is this reason. There was a 12-year-old girl in Tang Lin's class who had just arrived not long ago. She was extremely beautiful, gentle and kind. Meng people do not speak secretly. Originally, Tang Lin wanted to find time to get to know her in depth, but he didn't expect that he would be deceived by Luo Jianping when he was not careful. And in the end, it made her so sad that she transferred to another school. MD, what is intolerable? Tang Lin had long wanted to push this guy to the ground and rub him. It was an unexpected surprise to face him in the first game today, and I could use him to show everyone. Insanity. Luo Jianping said angrily, I want to see how capable your so-called genius is. Possessed by a black turtle. Luo Jianping immediately became possessed by martial arts spirit. To be honest, you don't need to use martial arts to educate you. Come on, come here and let me see how hard your turtle shell is. Tang Lin said. Wang Xiaoshu held his forehead while he was off the court. Luo Jianping might not be able to participate in the class team competition this afternoon. Tang Lin was really too lazy to activate his martial spirit. He just wanted to use his turtle to test the results of his cultivation in the past few years. Are you being polite to me? If you don't want to fuck me, then I will. Tang Lin laughed immediately when he saw that this guy was indifferent and was still looking ready. Tang Lin clenched his fist fiercely and made a loud crunching sound. Without saying a word, Tang Lin ran towards him. Without heavy armor, Tang Lin was extremely fast. Even if he didn't use all his strength, he could reach Luo Jianping's face in almost the blink of an eye. Luo Jianping was immediately shocked. Before he could use his soul skills, Tang Lin punched his handsome face with a fist as big as a sandbag. In just an instant, he was beaten to the ground. The place where the face was punched instantly turned red and purple. This punch still caused him endless physical pain. If it weren't for the Zuanshu turtle's extremely strong defense, this punch might have made him vomit blood. He never expected that Tang Lin was so powerful without even using his martial spirit. Tang Lin grinned and said, oh, I asked you to come here, but you didn't. Have you seen your mommy now? You snapped. Tang Lin slapped it over with lightning speed and turned it over. What the hell are you? You're such a playboy. You usually have a mouth like a peach and deceive those little girls all day long. but you actually dared to trick us into coming to our class. This slap is for them. It's not about envy, jealousy, or hatred. Chapter 61. It's really cool to draw people without using martial arts. Look, Tang Lin actually didn't use the martial spirit, and he even beat Luo Junping, who was possessed by the martial spirit, to the ground. This Tang Lin is so terrifying. He is indeed a genius. Wow. Tang Lin looks so handsome when he slaps someone. Everyone in the audience, whether they were boys or girls, was shocked by Tang Lin. Hurry up and use your soul skills, otherwise you will be stunned and won't have the chance to use them. Tang Lin put his hands on his waist and frowned. How can this guy test how powerful my fist is without using soul skills? Luo Junping's eyes were red with anger. Snort. Deceiving too much. The first soul skill, the mysterious turtle body protection. No matter what, Tang Lin's fists are too heavy and powerful, so arm yourself first. Dang dang. The turtle shell on the surface of his body seems to have been strengthened. There are thick turtle shells on his belly, back, and even arms. Second soul skill, Zuanshu Frozen. A blast of forest white cold air suddenly hit Tang Lin, but Tang Lin didn't dodge. His first soul skill was just a white soul ring skill that lasted for decades. So Tang Lin guessed that his second yellow soul ring couldn't be more than 600 years old at most. So he wanted to try how powerful this Zuanshu Ice Frozen was. Oh. Suddenly, Tang Lin was frozen by Luo Junping's second soul skill, turning into a snow white ice sculpture. HMPH. Look how arrogant you are. Ha 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 ha. Are you feeling uncomfortable now? Luo Junping said with a proud smile. He believed that Tang Lin would not feel well if he was frozen by Zuanshu. Maybe it's not necessarily that even the martial soul can't be released now. Could it be that I won over this so-called genius like this? Stab. Suddenly, there was a sound of ice cracking. Oh. Tang Lin just stretched a little, and the ice cubes on his body suddenly shattered into powder. Luo Junping was shocked. This was a century-old spirit ring skill. He could actually break free easily without using martial arts? Is it a monster? So my body is already so strong? I'm so sorry, I surprised you again. Tang Lin looked at his surprised expression and smiled. I don't believe it. Zuanshu is frozen. Luo Junping suddenly became angry and took action again. Tang Lin dodged his attack and appeared directly on his side, then attacked with another fist. What? With a pitiful cry, Luo Junping flew out. His black turtle armor was useless in front of Tang Lin's fist, like a thin layer of paper that could be broken with just one punch. Zuanshu is frozen. Seal it. Seal it for me. RRR. On the field, there was only Luo Junping's scream. There was no way. His strength was too different from Tang Lin's, and this was entirely Tang Lin's one-sided education. Oh. Luo Junping was kicked out of bounds. After Tang Lin knew his specific strength, he lost interest. There are still many battles to come, and it is not good to consume too much in the first battle, so after a lesson, I just kick him off the stage. It feels so good to beat people without using martial arts, Tang Lin said, while rubbing his fists. This turtle was very durable, and made him feel comfortable beating him. It was much more comfortable than the usual practice of punching to break boulders. No wonder Tang Heo beat Zhao Wuji with his bare hands, and no wonder Zhao Wuji didn't use his martial spirit when he beat that old turtle. Learned. However, it has to be said that Zuanshu turtle's defense and combat power are indeed quite good. Class, let him appear first, because he probably wanted to get off to a good start. It's a pity that I met Tang Lin. After eating animal meat for 4 full years and working hard at training, his physical or other strength was no longer on the same level as his peers. When Luo Junping was kicked off the field, the scene was in an uproar. After just a few rounds of fighting, Tang Lin easily defeated Luo Junping without even using his martial spirit. Everyone was already shocked. What a monster. Genius. Definitely a fighting genius. Handsome. Super handsome. He is indeed the most handsome guy in my heart. Sister, what should I do? I find that I have. Brother, what are you talking about? Such a powerful and handsome person must be mine. Sister. The people in class 1 have now fallen silent and started thinking about countermeasures. They had never thought that Tang Lin would be sent to play in the first game of class, and they did not expect that Tang Lin would be so powerful. Now all their plans have been disrupted. Tang Lin is too powerful. We are invincible. That's right. We have to use a human wave tactic. Then you guys will go up first, and then we'll see what happens. When his physical and soul power is exhausted, let Xiaoshu and the others go up. Okay. Wang Xiaoshu said helplessly. He originally wanted to say that Tang Lin's physical and soul power would not be exhausted so easily, but he had no good ideas, and it would only make the people in the class passive and lazy. So it is better not to say. On the field, class sent a beautiful woman this time. He is an auxiliary weapon soul master. Her goal was to consume as much Tang Lin's energy as possible. Miss, please take action. Tang Lin said with a smile. As the saying goes, ladies first. Tang Lin doesn't want to bully girls. After all, he is an assistant, and it's just a formality. I know I can't beat you, but I still want to fight you. Brother Tang Lin, please be gentle, be gentle. The girl had just seen Tang Lin's fierce look. Thinking that she had to fight against such a powerful person, she felt a little scared. Tang Lin looked at the girl. She had a beautiful and lovely face, but her words were a bit garbled, which made Tang Lin feel numb. Don't worry, little sister. Tang Lin smiled. After saying that, he dodged a few times and came to the girl's side. The girl let out a frightened ah and was pushed gently by Tang Lin, and then, and again. After 3 pushes, she inexplicably fell off the court and lost before she could react. To deal with such a silly girl, Tang Lin thought it would be better to make a quick decision. Then a bunch of weak chickens came up to go through the motions. Tang Lin basically took care of them in a few moments. When he met girls, he would be a little gentler. Tang Lin could finally see that these people were not here to consume him, they were just here to make fun of them. What should I do? This can't continue like this. They are not on the same level as Tang Lin at all. This can't consume Tang Lin's physical strength at all, let alone consume his soul power. The squad leader said helplessly. Forget it. Let's forget about the auxiliary system, the food system, and focus on the agility and attack system. Add a few more people to take turns to tire him out. It makes sense. Let's do it. The agility attack system is very fast and has attack power. Even if he can't beat Tang Lin, he can still run away. He needs to use up his physical strength first. I have to say that the squad leader's strategy was still good, but he ignored that Tang Lin was also a fast guy as predicted. As soon as the agility and attack spirit master came on stage, he showed off all kinds of body skills in front of Tang Lin, including all kinds of tricks. Tang Lin pressed his nose, and when he got tired of watching, he came up directly and slapped them all away from the field with one slap. The second ring soul master was too weak in front of Tang Lin and had no power to fight back. How come Tang Lin's speed is so terrifying? He's even faster than the agility based attack spirit masters. Unbelievable. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62. One person challenges one class. Wang Xiaoshu shook his head. He had already said that it was useless. I suggest that our class admit defeat collectively and reserve our strength for the next team battle. Otherwise, I'm worried that all of you will be injured by him on the field today, which will affect our team battle. A collective surrender? Thank you for thinking it out. Xiaoshu, you can't be so partial to Tang Lin, just because you have a good relationship with him. There are still half of the people in our class who haven't attended, and they are all the main force. I don't believe that he can defeat so many of us by himself. People. This final assessment is to test the strength of all of us, so even if we lose, we cannot admit defeat, otherwise the teachers will not agree. Okay, let's fight. Wang Xiaoshu said. Since I can't persuade everyone, I have to go all out. Another person came up on the stage. Wang Fang, the colorful cat with martial spirits, a level 23 agility attack war spirit master. Please give me your advice. Tang Lin's eyes narrowed. This colorful cat is not easy to mess with. Not only is it extremely fast, but its attack power is also incredible. Under normal circumstances, it should be able to leapfrog challenges. Tang Lin grinned. Did the first team finally start sending their main force up? By sending him up, is this to test how fast I am? Hey. Actually, I want to know just like you. Take action. Brother. Tang Lin nodded. Shh. As soon as Tang Lin finished speaking, Wang Fang appeared in front of him and was about to use cat claws on his lower body. Tang Lin was suddenly shocked. Why is this move a bit like a monkey stealing a peach? Aren't you a cat boy? If you don't learn from others, why don't you imitate monkey brother to steal peaches? But what is commendable is that his speed is indeed staggeringly fast. Tang Lin reacted quickly. He tapped his foot lightly and jumped back, taking a full step back. Just this step made everyone in the class excited, because from the beginning to the end, no one could make Tang Lin take a step back. Then, Wang Fang dodged, and the moment Tang Lin landed, he appeared behind Tang Lin again. The crowd thought that Wang Fang's speed could defeat Tang Lin, right? But what no one expected was that Tang Lin was even faster. He seemed to have expected it. As soon as he landed, he swept backwards and kicked Wang Fang directly in the chest. Oh. With a sound, Wang Fang fell to the ground. After only one round of fighting, Wang Fang was kicked out of the field by Tang Lin and lost his ability to fight. Quiet. The scene was extremely peaceful for a moment. It was so quiet that you could even hear the sound of a needle dropping. Everyone just thought that Wang Fang could compete with Tang Lin for several rounds, but in the blink of an eye, he was eliminated by Tang Lin again. Even Wang Xiaoshu was a little surprised. Wang Fang is the most outstanding agility attack type soul master in their class, and his speed is even faster than some seniors. Even he himself couldn't defeat him so easily. Unexpectedly, Tang Lin didn't even use his martial spirit, but he still managed to defeat him with one move. When did Tang Lin become so fast? But he didn't know that when Tang Lin usually practiced with him, he wore several hundred kilograms of inner armor. Tang Lin's speed has never been shown in front of anyone. Even he himself doesn't know how fast he is. Although they lost, the people in class were not discouraged. Then, they sent a great attack spirit master to challenge Tang Lin. As soon as he came up, he attacked Tang Lin without saying a word. To deal with someone like Tang Lin, who is faster than agility type soul masters and has a higher combat power than power attack type, we can only use offense as defense. Only fierce attacks are the only way out. Moreover, after one person was defeated, the second person followed, not giving Tang Lin any chance to breathe. Tang Lin's physical strength is too powerful and overbearing. He still doesn't use martial arts. He can fight against these offensive spirit masters with physical strength alone. The attack type is not good. Immediately afterwards, it was the turn of several strength type soul masters to come up one after another. They were the best in the class in terms of defense and strength. But without exception, they all failed to force Tang Lin to use his martial arts spirit, and were all thrown off the stage by Tang Lin with his bare hands. After all, most of the students in the school are quite weak, like flowers in a greenhouse, with little combat experience. For someone like Tang Lin, who has even been to the Stardew Forest several times, it is difficult to deal with them. Very easy indeed. At last, it's finally the Control Soul Master's turn to appear. Among Soul Masters of the same level, the one with the strongest one-on-one strength is the Control Soul Master. It is commonplace for excellent control type Soul Masters to cross-level challenges, and more powerful Soul Masters can even cross-level challenges. A group of control type Soul Masters came up one after another, but in the end they still couldn't control Tang Lin, and their fate was no different from those before. However, they also knew that they were no match for Tang Lin, and they only came here to consume Tang Lin and prepare for the final appearance of Wang Xiaoshu. By this time, everyone knew that no one could resist Tang Lin's momentum, so they could only find ways to weaken his momentum first. The people in class 2 are already excited. All of them, including the teacher, previously thought that Tang Lin's talk of challenging a class was all nonsense, but now they realize how powerful Tang Lin is. Nearly a whole class of people have been fighting, and they haven't even used their martial spirits yet. This can no longer be described as simply powerful. This is simply a monster, abnormal. On the field, Tang Lin threw another level 20 Control Soul Master out of the field. A lot of his physical strength had been consumed at this moment. The only person in the first class who can still fight is Wang Xiaoshu. Wang Xiaoshu jumped lightly and stepped onto the stage. Xiaoshu, is it finally your turn? Tang Lin chuckled. Xiaolin, you are really powerful, Wang Xiaoshu said. Wang Xiaoshu and Tang Lin often practiced together and sparred together. They knew each other well. Although they knew Tang Lin was very powerful before, they were still shocked by Tang Lin today. If it were him, even if he could win at this moment, he would probably fall down from exhaustion. However, Tang Lin seemed tired at this moment, but in fact he was still breathing in an orderly manner. No need to be modest, you are not weak either. For tomorrow's battle, we don't have to fight with all our strength, right? How about we have a gambling fight? Wang Xiaoshu said. They had their own plans this morning. If their strength was exposed today, it would be very detrimental to their battle tomorrow, so they didn't want to use their second soul skill yet. Okay, how do you want to bet? Tang Lin nodded. I will use the first soul skill to tie you up. If you don't use the martial soul, if you break free within 1 minute, you will win. Otherwise, I will win. What do you think? Wang Xiaoshu said. No problem. Tang Lin agreed readily. Wang Xiaoshu was slightly surprised. Tang Lin actually agreed like this. Don't know how to bargain. But he knew Tang Lin. He never did anything he was unsure of. The fact that he could agree so readily showed that his strength was more than what he saw in front of him. The first soul skill, IV binding. The first soul ring flashed under Wang Xiaoshu's feet, and countless green vines instantly bound Tang Lin's hands and feet. Then, those vines began to wrap around his whole body. The toughness of each vine is extremely powerful. If it were an ordinary person, there would be no way to break free without using the second soul skill. But Tang Lin was different. In the past 4 years, the weight on his body has reached 1,000 pounds, carrying thousands of kilograms of weight, and training with Wang Xiaoshu every day, no matter the physical strength, arm strength, leg strength, or muscle strength in all aspects of the body, it is beyond the reach of ordinary people. Drink. He shouted violently, and his muscles all over his body squirmed. The vines were torn open with his bare hands like weak, dead branches. The vines wrapped around the hands, feet, and body were torn into pieces like pieces. The whole process takes less than half a minute. Although Wang Xiaoshu lost, he was happy for Tang Lin. After he smiled at Tang Lin, he walked off the stage calmly. No one in the class could blame him, because they all knew the abnormal controllability of Wang Xiaoshu's first soul skill, but he was still so vulnerable in front of Tang Lin. It's not that Wang Xiaoshu didn't try his best, but that Tang Lin was too powerful. The whole second class was shouting for him. People who used to dislike Tang Lin suddenly felt that Tang Lin was so handsome. Challenge a class with one person's strength. He made it. Not only did he do it, but he didn't use martial arts in the whole process. The teachers present were also proud of Tang Lin. The parents or civilians who were watching were also excited, because they now discovered that soul masters are not invincible. Even if you don't use soul skills, you still have a chance to defeat a powerful soul master. The name Tang Lin has been deeply ingrained in their hearts from today on. Chapter 63. Graduation Assessment. The first game of the finals, the arena game. That's the end. Except for Luo jumping, Tang Lin didn't hit anyone else in his class hard, and they didn't even use up any physical or spiritual energy. So it doesn't affect their next game at all. The second game, the team competition. In a team competition, the most important thing is unity in teammates. As the saying goes, if you are not afraid of your opponents, you are afraid of your teammates. Tang Lin knew very well what kind of teammates the people in his class were like. Some people can even release skills in reverse to attack their teammates during team battles. How do you play this shit? When fighting, in addition to guarding against the enemy, you also have to guard against your own teammates, which is tiring just thinking about it. So Tang Lin simply didn't participate in the team competition. Anyway, he broke the record and got full marks in the group competition. He was already ranked first in the grade for sure. Even if he didn't play, no one dared to say anything. The next day, graduation. The school is packed with people. This is much more lively than yesterday. Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu had already submitted their graduation applications to the principal. The principal knew that they were both second-ring great soul masters, so the assessment tasks given to them were not too difficult. First, win a single duel against a graduate. Secondly, win a combination in a team fight. You'll graduate when you're done. It seems simple, but after all, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu are only second level soul masters, and the graduates are all third level soul masters. This is impossible for most people. But Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu are not ordinary people after all, and after Tang Lin's performance yesterday, everyone began to look forward to it again. They also wanted to see Tang Lin's true strength. The principal made an impassioned speech on the stage, congratulating the graduates, and also told everyone that first year students Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu would challenge the assessment for early graduation. Today is destined to be an extraordinary day on the ring. Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu stood in two different arenas on the left and right respectively, already prepared. Among the graduates, except those from the assistant department, you can take the stage to challenge them. Tang Lin was very confident, and stood proudly with his hands behind his back. With his current level 30 strength, he has no problem facing the three-ringed Soul Master. It's just that he is a little worried about Wang Xiaoshu. Although Wang Xiaoshu is already much stronger than others in terms of physical fitness, after all, he is just a great Soul Master. Facing the Soul Master, one missing soul ring means one missing soul skill. The difference in strength is huge. After all, he still has the 18 beats of Menquen, but Wang Xiaoshu has no other martial arts skills. Tang Lin gave Wang Xiaoshu an encouraging look. Wang Xiaoshu smiled calmly. He had already prepared in his mind that he would have a big fight today no matter what. Luo Junxin, Wuhan Giteng. 30 level 3 ring control system weapon Soul Master. Please give me some advice from my junior. On the right side of the arena, someone has already come up to challenge Wang Xiaoshu. Tang Lin looked over and found that the man's 3 soul rings were white, yellow, and yellow point. It's not the best soul ring ratio. The most important thing is that there is no 1000-year soul ring. Tang Lin felt a little relieved. In this arena match, if Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu lose the first match, they will have to stay in the arena to accept the challenge from the next person. Only by defeating a graduate can they complete the assessment task. And if you lose the first game, your soul power and physical strength will undoubtedly be consumed a lot, and your strength will be exposed. Then it will be difficult to win the subsequent challenges. Therefore, the first game is very important, and can almost determine whether you can complete the first graduation assessment task. Although the person who came up was also a soul master who controlled weapons, but as long as he didn't have the skill of a 1000-year soul ring, Tang Lin believed that Wang Xiaoshu could handle it, so he stopped paying attention to that side. On my side, no one has come up yet. Brother, your martial spirit is so special. How about you just go up and teach him a lesson? Oh, you don't know. My waist was accidentally twisted last night. It's not healed yet. I'm afraid it's not appropriate to go out in battle today. I'll leave this task to you. Hui, didn't your two brothers have some trouble with Tang Lin before? Why don't you go up and get him? If he, a great soul master, graduates with us, wouldn't it be too shameful for us? It's okay, we have a good relationship. Hui said with a smile. His cousin had told him a long time ago that Tang Lin was a genius and he could only win over him, not mess with him easily. There were so many graduates, but no one dared to come up to fight Tang Lin, which made some people confused. Tang Lin was also speechless. No one challenges me, so do I pass the assessment or fail? In fact, through what happened yesterday, everyone already knows how fierce Tang Lin is. He single-handedly defeated a class of great soul masters, and he didn't even use martial arts. Even if they are soul masters, they think that there is absolutely no way they can do it, even if they use soul skills. Everyone has a good face. If they beat Tang Lin, they would get nothing point, and if they lose to first year Tang Lin before graduation, it will not look good on them, so many people are not willing to join. The principal frowned slightly, a little unhappy. When did all my students become cowards? Wang Xiaoshu's side is already in full swing, but Tang Lin's side has not started yet. Tang Lin is depressed. Could it be that without realizing it, I have become invincible? No one comes up to challenge me, so how do I pass the assessment? Absolutely not. Some measures must be taken. After thinking about it, Tang Lin came up with a way, so he cleared his throat, coughed a few times, and said loudly to the graduates, "Graduate brothers and sisters here, are you all hot chicks? My dear soul, you don't even dare to challenge me, a great soul master? Some of the people below had bad tempers and were already angry. They were clenching their fists and wanted to get on stage. Tang Lin chuckled and said, I promise here that if anyone can defeat me, he will get 1000 gold soul coins. There must be a fool among all the money. 1000 gold soul coins is already a huge sum of money for a newly graduated soul master, as predicted. Suddenly 7 or 8 people came onto the stage. There were many people behind who wanted to go up, but unfortunately they were still a step too late. They could only lament in the audience that their reactions and movements were too slow. You guys responded well, but I can only challenge one person first. You open your martial soul and release your soul ring. Let me choose. Tang Lin said with a smile. Clap clap clap. Open the martial souls and soul rings one by one. Starter brother, I think I'm weaker than them all. Choose me. Choose me. A thin man said excitedly. Tang Lin looked at his martial spirit. It turned out to be a banana, a food type weapon soul. It was too weak. What kind of combat power did it have? Okay, you're a food type guy with no fighting power. You're too weak. It wouldn't be honorable to win if you win. Go down. Tang Lin shook his head. Brother, you can't look down on my big banana. If you're not careful, I'll throw a banana peel and make you fall off the stage. Choose me. Tang Lin was speechless for a while. This guy's crazy about money, isn't he? Another fat man said, little brother, my whip spirit's combat power is neither strong nor weak, it's just right. Choose me. As he spoke, he lashed the whip hard, and instantly there was a swishing sound, and a burst of dust was raised on the ground. I'm a little curious. Even if you call me brother, why do you need to add the word in front? You can go down too. Tang Lin said coldly. Ha ha ha, big brother. My martial soul, red candle, is definitely not weak in combat power, but it is not very strong either. Otherwise, you can choose me. A controlling weapon soul master said with a flattering look. Didn't you just tell me that your waist was accidentally twisted last night, so it's not a good time to fight again today? A man next to him scratched his head and asked curiously. The soul master whose martial soul is a candle looked embarrassed. Tang Lin took a general look around and found that Ma Hui was among them. He said softly, hey, and said in surprise, oh, brother Ma. It turns out that you have come up too. In this case, let the others go down. I will choose Ma Hui. Chapter 65. Graduation successfully. Tang Lin won easily. But on Wang Xiaoshu's side, it's not that easy. He was facing a control system soul master with a 1000-year soul ring. As a top student in the school, his basic combat skills and combat consciousness were better than ordinary people, so Wang Xiaoshu did not take advantage. The situation is tense, but Tang Lin was not very worried, because Tang Lin had told him about various tactics before. For example, in this game, he can lose, as long as he can win any game today really. Not long after Tang Lin looked over, Wang Xiaoshu took the initiative to admit defeat. Although he could continue to fight, Wang Xiaoshu already knew that he could not defeat the senior opposite him, so he did not want to waste any more extra soul power and physical strength. After all, the opponent has one more 1000-year soul ring than him. No matter how good his physical fitness is, if he lacks the skill of 1000-year soul ring, it will be difficult for him to be his opponent. It's okay, just drink a few sips of wine to recover. If the next game is still a control type soul master, there is no need to fight, just admit defeat. Tang Lin said quietly. Wang Xiaoshu nodded. He knew what Tang Lin meant. If the next person to come up was a control soul master, he would probably lose when his physical strength and soul power were exhausted. This will consume a lot of physical strength. In the next game, even if you have the strength to win, I'm afraid you won't be able to win. So it is better to simply admit defeat from the beginning, until you meet an opponent you can confirm you can win, and during this period you can also earn some time to recover. Wang Xiaoshu drank a few sips of the wine from the flask, and his body suddenly felt warm, and his physical strength and soul were slowly recovering. Over the past few years, they have learned that one of the basic attributes of his wine is to restore itself to various states. Follow Tang Lin's tactics. To control type soul masters came up from behind. No matter whether the opponent was strong or weak, or whether he had a 1000-year soul ring, Wang Xiaoshu would immediately admit defeat from the beginning. Next, another power-based fighting spirit came up, Feng Klei. Wang Xiaoshu knew that this man had a bad temper and had a yellow soul ring, 300 years old. As early as yesterday, Tang Lin secretly got to know these seniors to ensure that today was safe. So when Wang Xiaoshu saw Feng Klei, he immediately decided to fight this person today. Both of them only have century-old soul rings, and the last soul ring is also close to 1000 years old. Even if the other party has one more soul ring, Wang Xiaoshu is confident. And now Wang Xiaoshu's physical strength, soul power, etc. have almost recovered, and he is just ready for a fight. Wang Xiaoshu still looked at Tang Lin and asked Tang Lin for advice. Tang Lin nodded to him in agreement. Feng Klei was a little displeased. Among the people who came up in front, Wang Xiaoshu immediately admitted defeat. Why did he choose to challenge so simply when it was his turn? Isn't this looking down on me? Wang Xiaoshu, you, a second level soul master, dare to challenge a third level soul master? You don't really think you can win, do you? Feng Klei said. Whether you can win or not will only be known after the fight. Didn't you just see that Tang Lin easily defeated the senior? Wang Xiaoshu said with a smile. Feng Klei's face turned red, and he said loudly, that pervert Tang Lin's second soul ring is a 1000-year soul ring. Can others compare to it? It's useless to talk more, just let it go. Tang Lin just urged me and told me to hurry up, so there is no other way. I have to deal with you within 1 minute. Wang Xiaoshu provoked him. Feng Klei was so angry that he rushed over after being possessed by the martial spirit. Wang Xiaoshu grinned. This man really had a bad temper and directly used his first soul skill, IV binding. Feng Klei's heels were bound by vines, and he was thrown to the ground. He was even more furious. He activated his second soul skill, broke free from the restraints in an instant, and continued to charge forward. When fighting against a control type soul master, one needs to avoid the opponent's control as much as possible, which requires speed. However, Feng Klei is a reckless man who only knows how to rush but not dodge. His speed is extremely clumsy. In Wang Xiaoshu's eyes, he is extremely easy to control. The vines on the ground were chasing after him, flying towards him from all directions at a very fast speed. In the blink of an eye, Feng Klei's feet were tightly bound by the vines. Second soul skill, entangle. Wang Xiaoshu did not give Feng Klei any extra time to react. Before he could break free, he directly used the second soul skill to wrap around him. King Tang directly wrapped Feng Klei tightly into a mummy. At the same time, the poison released by Ivy quickly paralyzed and poisoned him. Feng Klei only struggled for a moment and stopped moving. The soul beast of Wang Xiaoshu's second soul skill is an extremely poisonous snake. It is almost 1000 years old, and its speed and toughness are unparalleled. So before Feng Klei could react, he was poisoned. His body gradually became paralyzed, and he couldn't break free. In the end, he was defeated by Wang Xiaoshu before he even had a chance to use his third soul skill. Although Wang Xiaoshu is already strong and knows how to seize the opportunity in battle, if Feng Klei hadn't underestimated the enemy too much, he wouldn't have been defeated so quickly. Some of the audience were dumbfounded. It was obviously Feng Klei who rushed towards Wang Xiaoshu, but why did he fall down and be unable to get up only halfway through the charge? This Wang Xiaoshu is indeed a genius. Next, it's 2v2. Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu were in a group, facing a group of graduates. Tang Lin and Tang Lin already cooperated tacitly, so this was relatively simple for Tang Lin and Tang Lin. In the end, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu defeated each other without any surprise, and qualified for graduation point, becoming the two youngest graduates in Notting College history. For 4 full years, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu finally graduated from Notting College. In the darkness, Tang Feng saw the performance of the two people. He smiled with satisfaction and pride, turned around, and disappeared into the darkness. Tang Lin, which Advanced Soul Master Academy are we going to next? Wang Xiaoshu asked. Forget it if we enter other high-level Soul Master colleges. My father has some friendship with the Dean of Notting College, so we can be unscrupulous in this college. If we go to other colleges, our information will be exposed, Tang Lin said. Nowadays, a lot of the information they have at Notting College has been fabricated by the dean, and some of it doesn't even exist, so even if someone comes to check, nothing will be found. But it's different if you go to other high-level Soul Master colleges, unless it's a private high-level Soul Master college like Shrek Academy. But Tang Lin doesn't want to stay in the academy anymore. Now that he is level 30, after getting another soul ring, it's time to start exploring the Douluo continent. Then where should we go next? Wang Xiaoshu asked. Well, first go to Soto City to do some errands, then go through the Stardao Forest, and go to the Star Luo Empire to have some adventures. By the way, I can secretly inquire about your grandfather and quietly find out what happened when your family was exterminated. Tang Lin said. Wang Xiaoshu thought for a while, and finally shook his head and said, okay, but if we go to the Star Luo Empire now, is it too hasty? I think it is more appropriate to wait until we become stronger. Although he himself also wanted to go to the Star Luo Empire to check out those men in black and save his grandfather, he was not a fool. He knew that he was still too weak and could not attack a stone with an egg at this time. Otherwise, he would have spent so many years of hard work. I'm afraid that all the training will be in vain, and I'm afraid that Tang Lin will get into trouble. Of course Tang Lin knew his concerns, so he comforted him. Don't worry, I'm here. Everything will be fine. Chapter 66. Holy Soul Village, Suyanteo. Night. Li Rao specially cooked several special dishes to celebrate Tang Lin Wang Xiaoshu's early graduation. In the past 4 years, Li Rao's physical fitness has been almost the same as that of ordinary Great Soul Masters. Not to mention Tang Feng, his muscles have become more solid and perfect. Tang Lin has long healed the old and secret injuries on his body, and his soul power has also been restored. Steady rise. Tang Xiaomi is a little monster. He can eat a lot of spiritual meat at every meal. Now he is less than 6 years old, and his physical fitness has far exceeded those of ordinary Great Soul Masters. The family members all sighed, and Tang Lin even had a feeling that Tang Xiaomi would awaken an extremely powerful beast spirit soon. The physical fitness of Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu is not to mention. In terms of weight bearing, Tang Lin has already been able to carry over 1,000 kilograms, while Wang Xiaoshu can also carry more than 200 kilograms while climbing and wading. The next day, it's the day of the annual Wuhan Awakening in the Wuhan Palace. Tang Xin is exactly 6 years old this year, and the Wuhan is about to be awakened today. How could Tang Lin miss it? While his father was still fast asleep, Tang Lin took Wang Xiaoshu and his sister Xiaomi to finish breakfast, and after a few words with his mother Li Rao, they headed to Holy Soul Village. Xiaohei was also accompanying him. Xiaohei is no longer the same Xiaohei he was 4 years ago. Now it has a strong figure, like a ferocious wolf. Usually when he goes out, he is followed by a lot of suitors, including the Dog King of Notting City. This is also thanks to Tang Lin's spiritual flesh. Holy Soul Village, blacksmith shop. Tang Xin came back from training early and brought down the animal meat porridge from the pot. Dad, it's time for breakfast. Tang Heo came out of the house with groggy eyes and a slovenly look. He didn't even bother to mend the holes in his clothes. As soon as he sat down, he picked up the big bowl and drank in big gulps. He didn't feel hot at all. After drinking one bowl after another, not caring whether his son Tang Xin was full. Tang Xin had always doubted whether his father had picked him up, but Tang Lin told him that there was a reason why his father became like this. As for the reason, Tang Lin was so mysterious that he didn't say anything to him. Li Rao would come to Holy Soul Village from time to time to inspect the vegetables and talk about business. Tang Lin would stop by and deliver some pieces of spirit beast meat to his family. Meat can be said to be a luxury product for Tang San's family. Dad drinks until late at night every day. He wakes up in the morning and has to sleep again after breakfast. Only in the afternoon can he make some money to buy rice. If the village elder Jack hadn't always given them some food, Tang Xin might not even be able to survive. Tang Lin felt that everyone was from the Haoshan sect anyway, so they could be considered members of the same clan. Helping them was just a piece of cake. Tang Lin even fantasized about how great it would be if he could earn a title Douluo level thug. Tang Heo had met Tang Feng before, so he knew Tang Lin, and he could also feel that eating the meat Tang Lin gave him could not only increase his physical fitness, but also seem to restore some of his old injuries. I thought it was sent by Tang Feng, so I was still a little grateful to Tang Feng. Little San, Grandpa is here to pick you up. Tang San made an agreement with the village elder Jack a few days ago to awaken his martial spirit today. Old Jack arrived at the blacksmith shop on time. Perhaps because he was bored with Tang Heo, he didn't even go in and only called Tang San outside. Tang San glanced at his father, and Tang Heo said coldly, "Go. Don't delay making lunch." Tang San responded, and ran out directly. Under the leadership of old Jack, Tang San followed him to the spirit hall in the center of the village. Of course, this so-called Wuhan Palace is just a larger wooden house. In Douluo continent, even the smallest village will have a Wuhan Palace like this, and the Wuhan Palace's sphere of influence has already spread all over the world. Recommended reading / Grandpa Jack. Seeing old Jack, Tang Lin and the other three said hello obediently. "Xiaomi, has your mother come to the village to discuss business again?" Old Jack knelt down and rubbed Tang Xiaomi's little face, smiling. "No, we just came here to play." "Tang-san, are you going to awaken your martial spirit today?" Tang Lin said. "Yes, after awakening the martial spirit, we will have another chance to compete." Tang San said coldly. He didn't have a good impression of Tang Lin, because he still remembered that he was bullied by Tang Lin once, when he was 2 years old. He had long wanted to win the game, but Tang Lin was now tall and muscular, and he was a soul master. Not only was he thin, he was not even a soul master, and the hidden weapon had not been made yet. "Otherwise, I have long been looking for a fight with Tang Lin." Tang Lin smiled, and did not answer his words. "Brother Xiaozhen," Tang Xiaomi called sweetly. Today, Tang Xiaomi has learned a lot, become more polite, and is no longer as lawless as before. Although Tang San didn't have a good impression of Tang Lin, he doted on Tang Xiaomi. After all, Tang Xiaomi was very cute and innocent, and she was like his own sister in his eyes. Several people came to the entrance of Wuhan Palace. Su Yunteo, wearing a neat Wuhan Palace costume, descended from the sky and spun around a few times in the air, pretending to be a showman. The children present watched with wide eyes and exclaimed in amazement, "Stop." Only Tang Xiaomi watched calmly, as if this operation was no big deal at all, which made Su Yunteo look at her in surprise. Tang and Lin would sometimes take Xiaomi with them when they were practicing. She had seen too many slutty moves by her two brothers, so Su Yunteo's moves were nothing in her eyes. "Hi, respected master of battle soul, I will trouble you this time." Old Jack saluted Su Yunteo respectfully. There was a hint of pride in Su Yunteo's eyebrows. This was not because he was a proud person, but because most soul masters were like this in front of civilians. He bowed slightly in return. "I don't have much time, let's start now." Old Jack said, "Okay. Children, this is the spirit master from Notting City. Next, he will lead you to open your own spirit. You must cooperate with the master to awaken the spirit. Grandpa is looking forward to it. There are people among you who can become soul masters." Su Yunteo said impatiently, "Okay, you said the same thing last year. Is it really that easy to become a soul master?" After seeing Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu, he frowned and asked, "By the way, these two, who is a child?" Tang Lin and Tang Lin were obviously in their teens. Of course they were not here to participate in the awakening of the martial arts. Moreover, they did not dress like people from the countryside, and they did not look at him with as much respect as others. "Oh, they are friends from our village. We met them on the road, so they stopped by to see the awakening of the martial spirit." Old Jack replied respectfully. "Friends? Okay, all the children can come in and awaken their martial spirits, and the rest can wait outside the door." Su Yunteo said. "Master Su Yunteo, can we go in and take a look?" Tang Lin said. "Now that we are all here, how could we not go in and take a look? This is the awakening of the martial soul of the future Poseidon. If you don't see it, you won't see it. Do you know my name?" Su Yunteo frowned, but he remembered that he didn't say his name, and old Jack didn't say it just now. "We are students from Notting College in Notting City, and we have met the master before," Wang Xiaoshu said. "Oh, that's it. If you are also soul masters, you can go in and watch. Release your martial souls and soul rings, and come out for me to see. Okay. Wang Xiaoshu said, and then immediately released his 200-year-old yellow soul ring. Can you believe it now? Su Yuntao glanced at Wang Xiaoshu blankly. He thought that the so-called friend in this village was at most an ordinary soul master, but he did not expect that he was a second-level soul master like himself, and he also had 2 standard soul masters. A century-old soul ring. Looking at Wang Xiaoshu's appearance, he is only 12 or 13 years old, but he actually has such a standard soul ring ratio. Judging from the color of the second soul ring, it is obviously very close to a 1000-year-old soul ring. He instantly knew that the background of these 2 boys might not be that simple, and his attitude and tone became gentler for a while. They are indeed young geniuses. They have already reached the realm of great soul masters at a young age. Wang Xiaoshu smiled. Fortunately, Tang Lin did not release the soul ring. Otherwise, if the second soul ring was a 1000-year soul ring, wouldn't it scare Su Yuntao to death? The 2 took Xiaomi, followed Su Yuntao and all the children in the village into the Wuhan hall to watch them awaken their Wuhan. After closing the door, Su Yuntao asked all the children who were preparing to awaken their martial spirits to stand in a row, and then began to introduce himself. My name is Su Yuntao, a level 26 Great Soul Master, and I'm your leader. Now, I will meet you one by one. You are awakening your martial soul. Remember, no matter what happens, don't be afraid. At the same time, he took out his equipment and arranged the formation, motioning for the child on the right to stand in. Under the horrified eyes of the children, he shouted, "Poison wolf, possessed." Tang Lin stood aside and frowned, thinking that these steps of Su Yuntao were exactly the same as what he saw in the original work, and they had not changed slightly because of his intervention. Could it be said that the next plot of Douluo continent will be the same and will not be affected or changed by me? While Tang Lin was thinking, Tang Xiaomi's eyes were shining, and he stared at Su Yuntao with his big eyes. He held Tang Lin's hand with his small hand and pointed at Su Yuntao with the other hand. He shouted in a sweet voice, "Pigeon pigeon. Look, Xiaohui." The children present were also shocked by Su Yuntao's appearance, but they were frightened, while Tang Xiaomi was surprised. Although the children also screamed, Su Yuntao still selectively heard Tang Xiaomi's voice and immediately frowned and looked over. He knew about the little blackie next to Tang Xiaomi just now, but he didn't expect that he would be regarded as a little blackie at this moment. Even though Tang Xiaomi was an ignorant little kid, he still felt a little unhappy. Tang Lin suddenly looked a little embarrassed and quickly pulled Tang Xiaomi. "That's Poison Wolf, not Xiaohei. Don't scream like that next time, got it?" Oh. After being criticized a few times by his brother, Tang Xiaomi suddenly lost interest and curled his lips in an aggrieved voice. Wang Xiaoshu rubbed Xiaomi's head. He wanted to laugh, but he didn't dare to laugh. Next, it is still the same as the plot. The first one awakens a sickle, but the innate soul power is 0. What followed was the same. Several awakened various martial spirits, no matter strong or weak, all without innate soul power, until Tang Lin awakened Blue Silvergrass, a recognized useless martial spirit on Douluo continent, and when the innate soul power was tested, the innate soul power was full. PS. I haven't had time to write in the past 2 days, and then my recommendation votes and favorites have plummeted. When I looked at my phone, I found that my phone was getting hotter and hotter, while I was getting colder and colder. A big chapter of words. Please vote for recommendation. Chapter 67. Target, Soto City. After the martial arts awakened, Tang Lin brought the village chief and everyone to his home. Old Jack immediately told Tang Hao that Tang Lin should go to Notting College to study in 3 months. Tang Lin knew that Tang Hao would not agree at this time. He would only agree when he knew that Tang Lin was a twin martial spirit. But unexpectedly, after Tang Hao asked Tang Lin his wishes, he agreed directly. Tang Lin immediately thought about it. What was the reason that made Tang Hao agree directly? Tang Hao now knew that Tang San's martial spirit was just a useless martial spirit, so how could he agree? It's not because of me, is it? Tang Lin couldn't figure it out, no matter how hard he thought about it, but after this incident, he already knew that, whether it was because of him or not. In short, the plot had changed slightly. Tang Lin didn't know that Tang Heo and his father had met several times. When Tang Lin came here, Tang Heo naturally knew about Tang Lin's soul power. Now Tang Lin was only 10 years old and already had level 30 soul power! Exclamation mark. And Wang Xiaoshu is also a genius that cannot be ignored. Tang Heo felt that he was very relieved to have a brother like Tang Feng, and Tang Sun had a friend like Tang Lin Wang Xiaoshu. Even if Tang Sun went to Notting College and embarked on the path of a soul master, he didn't have to worry so much. After all, this is also the son's own choice. Everyone, sit down as you like. I'll cook for you all. We'll have lunch here later. Tang Sun said with a smile. He is very happy now because he has just awakened his martial soul and soul power. Although he was recognized as a useless martial soul by everyone, he had an idea in his mind that there were only useless soul masters, but no useless martial souls. When Tang Heo heard this, he immediately frowned and said coldly, "We can only eat the food you cooked. Let Xiaolin do it. You can help him." Ever since he ate the food cooked by Tang Lin once, Tang Heo felt that the food cooked by Tang Sun could no longer be tasted in his mouth. He looked forward to Tang Lin visiting his home all day long. Tang Lin smiled slightly. He still didn't know about Tang Heo's little thoughts. No matter who you are, after eating a meal cooked by yourself, you will basically be obsessed with it. Tang Lin immediately took out the animal meat from his space backpack and started cooking. Wang Xiaoshu had already taken Xiaomi and Xiaohei out for a walk. Tang Sun was working hard to help Tang Lin. Tang Heo and old Jack didn't talk to each other. They sat aside and ignored each other. Tang Heo seemed to be drinking, but in fact he was secretly observing Tang Lin. He wanted to know how Tang Lin cooked to make the food so fragrant, but after observing for a long time, he didn't find anything fishy. Tang Lin cooking is really no different from ordinary people. He suddenly thought that this must be the reason for the Haotian pot in Tang Lin's hand. When Tang Feng told Tang Heo, he said that Tang Lin's pan was called Haotian pan. Tang Heo still didn't believe it at the time. After all, he had never heard of a hammer mutating into a pan. It had never happened before in history. Tang Lin was really unique. Soon, all the dishes were put on the table. When Tang Heo was eating, he could feel that the food was extraordinary. Even if the same ingredients were used by anyone, it would not have this function. This was already the second time. After eating Tang Lin's cooking, this time he was even more convinced that this was the reason for that pan. He secretly lamented that the people of the Haotian sect were so stubborn that they were not even willing to include such a genius in the family tree. When bidding farewell to Tang Sun and Tang Heo, Tang Lin also left dozens of kilograms of animal meat. Although Tang Sun was reluctant to accept it every time, Tang Heo accepted it happily. Although Tang Heo didn't say anything, he already regards Tang Lin as a child of his family. If there are any difficulties in the future, he will naturally come out and help Tang Lin without hesitation. After Tang Lin, the others and the village chief left one after another. Tang Heo returned to his cold face as before. He opened the door curtain and was about to go in and continue sleeping. Tang Sun immediately stopped Tang Heo. "Dad, actually, I still have a martial spirit." General outline of Tang Man Zuanshan treasure record. Article. Never let someone who cannot be fully trusted know how much you really have. There is a long way from Holy Soul Village to Notting City. Even by carriage, it will take almost half a day. However, even if Tang Lin was rich, he never used a carriage to travel. In his eyes, even when eating, he was practicing cultivation, let alone this journey. "Xiaomi, are you tired?" Tang Lin asked with concern. After coming out of Holy Soul Village, they had been running for 2 hours continuously without stopping for a moment, and the same was true for Tang Xiaomi. "Jedge, Xiaomi is not tired." Tang Xiaomi smiled, but the next moment his cheeks were slightly red. "But Xiaomi is hungry again." Xiaomi must have been embarrassed to eat too much at Xiaozen's house just now, so she is hungry again now. "Let me tell you, why did Xiaomi eat so little today?" Wang Xiaoshu laughed immediately. Tang Xiaomi immediately gave Wang Xiaoshu a reproachful look, and the corners of his mouth bulged into a small meat bag. "Jejeje said that you should pay attention to your image outside." Tang Lin smiled and said, "I ask you to pay attention to your appearance when eating. I want you to sit down and eat well and be polite to the host. I'm not asking you to eat less." Being able to eat is a blessing. Of course you have to be full when you eat. Okay, let's rest here for a while. Xiaoshu, you go and hunt a pheasant in the forest, and I'll cook it for you like a beggar's chicken. When he heard the begging rooster, Tang Xiaomi opened his eyes wide and immediately became happy. Even Wang Xiaoshu was the same. He jumped into the forest and disappeared in front of the two of them. After Wang Xiaoshu slipped away, Tang Lin said, Xiaomi, in a few days, brother and Xiaoshu will leave Notting City and go to practice elsewhere. You must listen to your parents at home. Tang Xiaomi usually likes to stick to him the most. Every time before leaving home, as long as she knows about it, she will always cry and make people feel distressed. After going out this time, I don't know how long it will take for me to come back, so I have to let her know better and be mentally prepared. Otherwise she will always cry at home when she finds out, which will make her parents worry. When Xiaomi heard this, his face immediately fell. He pulled Tang Lin's clothes and begged softly with some sobs, Jej, can you take Xiaomi with you? Xiaomi will not be naughty and will be very obedient. Looking at her look, Tang Lin felt very distressed, but there was nothing he could do about it. If you are going for fun, it doesn't matter if you take Xiaomi with you. But this time you have to go to the Stardew forest to hunt soul beasts and obtain the third soul ring. You may also have to go to places like the Stardew Empire. There are many dangers along the way. How could it be possible to take her there? Xiaomi, be good and be obedient. Brothers are not here to play. You have to follow your parents well at home. When Xiaomi awakens his martial spirit, brothers will come back. If he goes out to practice in the future, he will take Xiaomi with him. Go, okay. Tang Lin comforted Xiaomi while holding her in his arms. Tang Xiaomi hugged Tang Lin tightly and blinked her big, moist, and reddish eyes. Really? Will Pigeon take Xiaomi with him in the future? Brother can do it, but Xiaomi must listen to brother first. Tang Lin said gently. 3 days later, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu are ready. Wang Xiaoshu felt a little uneasy. It had been 4 years since he came to Notting City and Tang Lin's house. During the 4 years, he and Tang Lin had worked hard to practice. He had never left Notting City to go anywhere else. Now he is going to the Stardew Empire to investigate what happened back then and look for clues about his grandfather, so it is inevitable that he will be a little confused. Tang Lin saw the uneasiness in his heart and comforted him. Don't worry, I'm here. Chapter 68. Luxury House. Now, Tang Feng has a space ring in his hand, which contains more than 200 kilograms of animal meat, and he is also wearing an inner armor. Although this armor is no longer of much use to the powerful Soul Saint, it is still better than nothing. Li Rao and Tang Xiaomi were also wearing armor. Li Rao had an earring hanging on her ear, and Xiaomi also had a necklace hanging on her neck. Both the earring and the necklace were space soul guides, and the necklace contained 100 kilograms of spiritual beast meat. For my sister, there are various armor boots and even a 10,000-year soul bone inside. This necklace has been bound to her. Others cannot tell that it is a space soul guide, and even if they know it, they cannot use it. In the past few days, Tang Lin had told Xiaomi several times that she was leaving and would not come back until her martial soul awakened. This made her mentally prepared. Now that she knew her brother was leaving, although her eyes were full of tears, but no longer crying and fussing like before, Tang Xiaomi is becoming more and more sensible, which makes Tang Lin and his parents very happy. Tang Feng knew that Tang Lin was going to Soto City, and he had already asked that the armors sold every month at Soto auction house were all made by Tang Lin. If he hadn't known that his son had such a thing, he would never have been able to find it on Tang Lin. What Tang Lin was doing now made him more and more reassured, and at the same time, it became more and more unpredictable for him. He didn't know what his son was going to do, and he didn't ask now, because Tang Lin had told him that all of this was a test of the creation god, and he couldn't rely on other people's power, so as a father, he only needed to slowly just look at it. Soto City. Today's Soto City is no longer the former Soto City. Today's Soto City is much more prosperous than it was back then. In the past 4 years, because the Soto auction house sold one piece of defensive armor every month, the number of residents in Soto City has increased, and most importantly, there have been more and more wealthy people. Building houses and villas in the suburbs is a way to make a fortune. The real estate businessmen who were reminded by Tang Lin became even more grateful to Tang Lin. In the city, all aspects of the economy are rising steadily. Markets, hotels, taverns, the Soto Spirit Fighting Arena, all of them are benefiting from the Soto auction house, and all of these are benefiting from Tang Lin. Although the impact is not very big, everyone can feel it. The biggest impact is on the Soto auction house. In just 4 years, Soto Auction House has annexed several large and small auction houses in Soto City and has expanded 3 times. Today, Soto Auction House is so majestic that it can even rival the Spirit Hall. Soto City, suburbs, a villa. Magnificent, spacious, and magnificent. It was just built not long ago. It can be said that it was specially built by several real estate businessmen to thank Tang Lin. Even though they have not met Tang Lin yet, they still do not know Tang Lin's name. Flanders wore an ordinary mask and stood in the magnificent hall, feeling extremely emotional. Just a few reminders and a joke that Tang Lin asked him to tell them back then. These businessmen actually built it for him. I'm so envious and jealous of having such a magnificent mansion and villa. However, with Tang Lin's current net worth, it would be easy to build a villa like this. These people gave him a villa. In addition to thanking Tang Lin, they were simply amazed at Tang Lin's business acumen and wanted to take this opportunity to get to know him. Sir, your young master's previous reminder has made us a lot of money. We built this villa to thank him. I just don't know when we will be lucky enough to meet your young master. Then let me first thank Boss Key and several other bosses on behalf of my young master. My young master said he will be there soon, so I hope you guys will wait a moment. Flanders said with a smile. In the past few years, Flanders has been wearing different masks, except at the academy and his own shop. Whatever Tang Lin told him to do, he always did it as a member of the Tang Lin family. Uncle. Several wealthy businessmen who were talking to Flanders in the lobby were interrupted by a slightly childish voice. Young master. Flender bowed slightly when he saw Tang Lin. You came at the right time. This mansion was gifted by these bosses. Let me introduce it to the young master one by one. After the introduction, several wealthy businessmen were amazed. They did not expect that the young master behind Flanders was so young, and he looked to be only 12 or 13 years old. After sitting down, in order to build a good relationship, Tang Lin did not put on any airs. As usual, he was approachable and thanked them one by one. After all, they did give him a mansion, and these people were all people whom Flanders had specially investigated. They were all good in character, trustworthy, and would cooperate with them in the future. Master, this is a super VIP card for the hotel owned by our family. With this super VIP card, it will be more convenient for the master to have food, accommodation and other things in Soto City in the future. / Thank you, Boss Chen. Tang Lin stood up and thanked him. Young master is really a genius. At the Soto auction house, we only sold a few pieces of treasure armor. You asked the tribe to remind us to develop surrounding real estate, strengthen the management of our hotels, etc. And we made a lot of profits. That's right, the houses and mansions built on the land around Soto City were all bought back by wealthy people from other places at high prices. We made a lot of money, and other businessmen in Soto City are a little jealous. Even our hotels, restaurants, and various other shops and businesses have gained a lot of overflow due to the young master's reminder. The hotels and restaurants of other businesses are not as prosperous as those owned by us. Everywhere, you are the ones who know how to behave and do things. It's all your own merit. I just reminded you a few times, but you gave me such a mansion. I really deserve it. Tang Lin he quickly stopped and smiled. In the next few years, I'm afraid that more and more wealthy businessmen will visit Soto City, and they will become richer and richer. No one knows whether they will buy several luxury houses here, so after they return, we can continue to build houses and villas around Soto City, and we can even add hotels, restaurants and other industries in the city. Thank you, Master Lin, for the reminder. Several wealthy businessmen said excitedly. In fact, they did not need Tang Lin to remind them, because they found that the population flow in Soto City was indeed increasing, and sometimes the hotels in the city were not enough. After a few people left, Flanders took off his mask. Tang Lin bowed and said, Uncle Flanders, In front of others, Tang Lin would not be polite to Flanders, nor would he call him by his name. "Boy, do you have any plans again?" Flanders put away his mask and sat down. Tang Lin looked around and said, "First of all, this big villa needs a group of servants. In fact, this villa was not built haphazardly by those businessmen. This location was chosen by Tang Lin. It belongs to the suburbs of Soto City and is also in the direction of Shrek. Tang Lin has bought the surrounding area for several miles, and he will start to build his own power here. As for the servants, the bosses have already thought of it. They will pick some from their own homes and send them over tomorrow." Flanders said, "Uncle Flanders, from now on, I will form my own force in Soto City. 3 years ago, I asked Uncle Flanders to help me find and pay attention to those soul masters. Now I can have people go and collect them all. Please come over and be the guard of this mansion. PS. Please collect and recommend votes. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 69. Soto Great Soul Fighting Arena. Xiaolin, does this mansion really belong to you? Wang Xiaoshu stood in front of the mansion and exclaimed. He was previously arranged by Tang Lin to rest in a hotel in Soto City, and it was only now that Tang Lin brought him here. Tang Lin smiled, shook his head and said, "This is not mine, but our family's. But, only you and I know about it now." As soon as the two entered the gate outside the mansion, young guards wearing grey and black armor formed 2 teams, standing on both sides of the road, bowing and saying, "Master, Chang Hui, Wang Mu, you two should arrange your men first, and then come to the hall to see me." Tang Lin said, "These guards are all soul masters at the level of great soul masters and soul masters. Even Chang Hui and Wang Mu are still strong soul masters." Because Tang Lin had made the announcement a long time ago, as soon as he said it now, it only took 1 day for Flanders to call over all the people he had selected. Some of them are freshly graduated students, some are desperate soul masters, and so on point, but now, they are all guards hired by Tang Lin, using soul masters as guards. This is probably only Tang Lin's luxury. But Tang Lin didn't want them to just be the guards of the mansion. These people are all in their teens and 20s. They are all soul masters with great room for improvement and great potential, so Tang Lin will let these guards practice every day, and Flanders will also train them every once in a while, so that their cultivation will not stagnate. Later, they will gradually be allowed to join their family and become their real force, not just their guards. They will be the first batch of soul masters for him to form his own force. Wang Xiaoshu looked at these soul masters blankly, and he knew that with Tang Lin here, everything like this would be possible, and only with Tang Lin here, he would have confidence in his future revenge. With so many soul masters as guards, and so many servants, how much does it cost every day? When he came to the hall, Wang Xiaoshu made a rough calculation, and said in disbelief, "You know there's pressure, right? From today on, the two of us have to make money to support these people. Tonight, I will take you to make a lot of money, how about it?" Tang Lin raised the corner of his mouth and smiled. Wang Xiaoshu rolled his eyes at Tang Lin angrily. Soon, Chang Hui and Wang Mu came to the hall. At the same time, there was a white-haired man in his 50s. This man was the person Tang Lin asked Flender and Liang Shan to ask for. Tang Lin Wang Xiaoshu came down and sat at the table. Tang Lin said, "Uncle Liang, you are from Sister Kia's family, so I trust you. From today on, you will be the housekeeper of this villa. Master Lin also knows our Miss Kia. Thank you for your trust, Master. I will manage this family well." Liang Bo said humbly. Tang Lin nodded and threw him a ring. "This is a space soul guide, which is filled with all kinds of animal meat. I want to ensure that from today on, the people in this villa can eat it every meal every day. The animal meat here, especially for the guards. If there is not enough animal meat, just tell us to in advance." Uncle Liang was a soul master, so he could naturally use this space soul guide. After receiving the ring, he said gratefully, "You should remember this, little man." Tang Lin turned to look at Chang Hui and Wang Mu again. "Chang Hui, Wang Mu, you are both powerful soul sects, and you are only 20 years old. You are also considered a genius in school, so you guys go back, there is still a long way to go. I will leave the 200 guards at home to you. You will still have a lot to train, so in a few days, I will find a general to train you. But at the same time, as a soul master, I hope that you will never forget your own cultivation no matter when and where you are. Yes, master. They both said in unison. Well, Xiaoshu, is there anything else you need to explain? Tang Lin asked. Wang Xiaoshu thought for a moment and said, don't tell anyone else about the two of us, including our names, including the rest of the servants and guards, and your wives and parents. Yes, master. The three of them nodded. Okay, there's nothing else to do. You go and deal with the matters in your hands first. Wang Xiaoshu said. After the others left, he asked Tang Lin, Lin, where are we going to make money tonight? Go to the Soto Spirit Fighting Arena tonight and fight to make money. Tang Lin looked towards a certain direction in Soto City and said with a smile, every major city will have a large spirit fighting arena, and it will be named after the city where it is located, so the Great Spirit Fighting Arena in Soto City is called the Soto Great Spirit Fighting Arena. It has its own complete system, jointly founded by the 7 most famous Soul Master families in the continent. It is not affiliated with the 2 major empires or the Wuhan Palace. It can be said to be a third-party force, rich and powerful. Soul Masters who become famous in the Great Soul Battlefield will become dazzling stars in the whole country. Not only can they gain huge benefits, but also gain great fame. However, this is not the purpose of Tang Lin going to the Great Soul Fighting Arena. His main purpose is to fight. Big Soul Fighting Arena. Fight? Wang Xiaoshu asked doubtfully. That's right, we are going to fight. The main purpose of us leaving Notting City is to become stronger. And going to the Soto Grand Soul Fighting Arena to fight can make us stronger. The same level and strength, as well as actual combat experience, will determine the key to victory or defeat. Only through continuous actual combat can we improve our adaptability in combat as much as possible. Only in this way can we improve our combat skills against various martial soul masters. During the time we were in Notting City, most of us were immersed in training and sparring. There were very few battles with other people, so what we need most now is actual combat. Our current goal is to improve our own strength through constant fighting. Wang Xiaoshu was stunned by what Tang Lin said for a while, but after thinking about it carefully, he felt something was wrong and immediately asked, if this is the case, won't my martial spirit be exposed? What if those men in black find out? What should I do? You don't understand this. Your martial spirit is a mutated martial spirit. Only you know what it is called. Those people can only know that it is a good. When the time comes to sign up for the spirit fighting arena, wouldn't it be enough to change his martial spirit to 1000 Ghost Vine? Tang Lin said with a smile. He had already decided that the Soto Spirit Fighting Arena would be one of the places where they would train this time, so of course these factors were also taken into consideration. Wang Xiaoshu lowered his head and thought for a while. Tang Lin was right. If you want to become stronger, you have to compete with others. So he made up his mind, slapped the table and said, okay, let's go to the Soto Spirit Fighting Arena. Sunset West Mountain. After dinner, Tang Lin and the two left the villa and came to the Soto Spirit Fighting Arena. The Soto Grand Fighting Arena is an oval in shape and reaches a height of 120 meters. It is an extremely magnificent building. The interior is divided into a main spirit fighting arena and 24 sub-spirit fighting arenas. It can accommodate 7 to 100 spectators at the same time. This includes more than VIP boxes. This is not only a place for soul masters to discuss and communicate, but also a place for all forces to show their strength. Let's go and sign up first. Chapter 70. Little Forest Combination. Before signing up, we have to think of a code name, and we can't fill in our real names as well. Then let me call you Sengwidao. Okay, your martial soul will also fill in this when the time comes. Even if someone comes to check later, nothing will be found. Tang Lin nodded. Then what's your code name? Let's call it Clapping in a Circle. We have to form a 2-person team, and we can't stop practicing together. Tang Lin said. A duo? There are 3 forms of competition here, 1-on-1, 2-on-2 and group battle. Among them, the number of people in a group battle is negotiated and stipulated. According to the rules of the Great Soul Fighting Arena, it is generally within the limit of 7 to 10 people. The two of us can just form a duo team. From now on, in addition to our individual competitions, we will have to participate in at least 2 team competitions every day. From now on, we will stay in the 5-star hotel next to the Soto Grand Fighting Arena. I have a super membership card. It is very cost effective and convenient to stay here. What about the mansion? There is nothing in the mansion. Let them manage it by themselves first. In 2 days, I will ask a young general to train the guards. We can just practice here with peace of mind, Tang Lin said. After signing up and paying 20 gold soul coins, Tang Lin told the staff about the code name and then went to sign up for a 2-person group. The group was simply called the Little Forest Group. Should we sign up for the individual competition or the combination competition first? Wang Xiaoshu asked. Let's apply for the combination competition first. After we win a victory, we will get a badge. After that, every time we win a victory, we will have a certain amount of points. When the points reach a certain level, the level of the badge will increase. This badge is the symbol of the level in the Great Soul Fighting Arena, and it is common to all major cities in the entire continent. There are many benefits to having a high badge level. The levels of badges are distinguished according to the quality of the minerals. The lowest is the iron badge, which is the iron fighting spirit. The ones going up are copper, silver, gold, purple gold, sapphire, ruby, and diamond. There are 8 levels in total. Our goal for this training is to get at least a silver badge in the individual competition, and in the combination, we need to get a gold badge. After completing it, enter the Stardew Forest, and then go to the Star Luo Empire. Okay, let's work hard together, Wang Xiaoshu said. He knows that it is not easy to obtain points, so it is not that simple for him to complete this training goal. But in order to become stronger, he has no other choice. After a while, Wang Xiaoshu suddenly thought of another question and asked immediately, what did you mean by making a lot of money before? It takes 10 gold soul coins to register. Even if we win, we can only earn 10 gold soul coins. What kind of making a lot of money is this? Tang Lin chuckled and said, here, soul fighting is divided into 3 categories. One is game, which is to learn from each other, and it is forbidden to kill people with cruel hands. The other is life and death fight, which is used to resolve irreconcilable disputes. The last one is a gambling battle, with the Great Soul Fighting Arena as the referee. Both sides of the gambling battle send an equal number of soul masters to compete, and the final winner will get everything in the bet. If we want to make big money, let's play gambling. With that said, Tang Lin took Wang Xiaoshu to sign up for the gambling match. After testing the soul power level, the two came to the viewing area of the Great Soul Fighting Arena, waiting for their gambling match. Gambling can also be divided into 2 situations, gambling on property and gambling on life. Tang and Lin came here to practice, not to make enemies with others. Therefore, they signed up for a property gambling game ranging from gold soul coins to gold soul coins. The upper limit of the iron fighting soul gambling game was gold soul coins, so they had no choice. Soon, they knew that their next opponent was a whirlwind combination of Alec and Ginnis, who had won 4 games in a row. From Soto Intermediate Soul Master Academy, there are many wealthy businessmen in Soto City, and there are naturally many rich second generations in Soto Intermediate Soul Master Academy. During the holidays, while they come to Soto Grand Soul Fighting Arena to practice, they also play some gambling games, all for fun. If you win, let's have a good time over wine. Even if they lose, the money is just a small amount of money to them. Alec and Ginnis are also 2 of the more famous people in the academy. They are both 4 years old, sons of aristocratic families, and they are skilled in cooperation, rich and powerful. Maybe winning 4 games in a row made them a little inflated. When they saw the soul power levels shown in Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu's information, they confidently chose the Xiaoshu in combination. Xiaoshu, the other party is betting gold soul coins in this bet. It seems that the other party is very confident. However, these gold soul coins are not a big sum of money for us now. I also looked at their strength, and they all had level 27 and 8 soul powers. If they dared to take us on, they probably thought that it was our first time in the soul fighting arena and we lacked combat experience. so you should know now the importance of combat experience, right? Even if there is a slight gap in soul power, those with rich combat experience still have some advantages. You first go to the place where you place your bets in the Fighting Spirit Casino to see what our odds are. Gambling battles. In addition to the direct gambling between the two sides, there are also gambling games in the Soul Fighting Arena for those rich spectators to place bets, bet on the outcome of the round, etc. In short, there are many fun ways to play, and the Soul Fighting Arena can profit from gambling. The odds of the opponent winning are 2, and the odds of us winning are 2. We obviously have higher soul power, but I think many people are betting on the other side to win, and not many people seem to be optimistic about us. After Wang Xiaoshu took a look, he came back and said, "It seems that the people in the Soul Fighting Arena are not stupid. They have won 4 consecutive games, and we have just formed a team today, and the audience does not know our information, so many people will bet on them to win. If we don't press when we win, I'm afraid we will make a lot of gold soul coins from this game in the Soul Fighting Arena. Then should we suppress it? And how should we suppress it? Of course we have to suppress it, but we just can't let the Fighting Spirit Arena lose money. The Iron Fighting Spirit gambling game has a cap of 30,000 gold soul coins. Just go and suppress 30,000 gold soul coins and bet that we can win in the end." Tang Lin said. "If we win, won't we win gold soul coins in this game?" Wang Xiaoshu said in surprise. This Soul Fighting Arena is indeed a good place to make money. However, if you want to make money here, as a contestant, you must have strength. As a gambler, in addition to financial resources, you must also have a little vision. The Soul Fighting Arena controllers have information such as the soul power levels of the contestants, but they can choose to show it to the audience or not. Even the contestants are like this. If the Fighting Spirit Arena doesn't show you the opponent's information, there's nothing you can do about it. There are 24 Spirit Fighting Arenas. Each Fighting Spirit Arena has thousands of people watching. Some civilians bet a few gold soul coins, and some wealthy businessmen bet thousands or tens of thousands of gold soul coins. An iron fight. After the soul gambling game, it is common for gold soul coins to exceed 22. After Wang Xiaoshu came back from placing the bet, the two entered the preparation area. Tang Lin took out 2 Aoki masks and put them on directly. The Aoki mask was obtained by Tang Lin by accidentally killing a 700-year-old bronze giant nightmare tree when he was obtaining the second soul ring for Wang Xiaoshu in the soul hunting forest of Notting City. After bringing them on, it will be difficult to detect their true faces unless a soul master above Soul Saint uses mental power to detect them. This mask can also change the voice. It looks very much like the mask worn by Obito Uchiha in the previous anime Naruto. Chapter 71. Menquin 8 beats shows its power. Against the Cyclone combination, the two have great confidence. Although the Tornado combination has rich fighting experience, Tang Lin and Tang Lin have higher soul power than them, and they also beat each other in all aspects such as physical fitness. If they can lose, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu have been practicing for so many years. Wasted. Many rich second generations will go here and there to play during holidays, and eat this and that. However, Alec and Jinus are different. Not only do they have some talent, but they are also very hardworking. Even during the holidays, their fun is all in this soul fighting arena. In the past, their strength has not reached level 27, and their combat experience is not rich, so they have lost and won in the spirit fighting arena. To this day, they are still fighting spirits. But after this year, their soul power has been greatly improved, their combat experience has become richer, and their cooperation has become better and better. During this holiday, the two only played for a few days. Not to mention individual competitions, the combination had won 4 games in a row, including even defeating 2 level 29 combinations. Today, very few combinations are willing to bet with them. Therefore, their self-confidence is bursting. As soon as they saw Tang Lin Wang Xiaoshu's combination recommended to them by the Fighting Spirit Arena, they immediately agreed without saying a word. On the Fighting Spirit Arena, there were shouts from the audience all around, but most of them are shouting that the whirlwind is invincible, because they all thought that Little Woods was just a newbie from Pheasant Academy. In the first game against a whirlwind combination with such rich combat experience, they would definitely lose. Of course, there are also some who silently cheer for the Little Forest group. After all, there is no shortage of bold gamblers in this spirit fighting arena, and they choose to bet on Little Forest. The odds are high, and so are the returns. Gamblers, that is. Both sides activate martial arts and release soul rings. The referee on the field shouted excitedly with a microphone. The four of them activated their own martial spirits at the same time. The whirlwind combination of Alec and Janice, both of them were beast martial spirits, and both soul rings were the best soul ring configurations. Yellow. In the eyes of other people, looking at this soul ring configuration might make them a little uneasy, but in the eyes of Tang Lin and the two of them, this is nothing but ordinary. Tang Lin didn't even release his soul ring. This masked clapping player actually doesn't release his soul ring. Is he planning to just use the basic martial arts and whirlwind combination to fight? The commentator asked in surprise. Let's wait and see if he is really capable, or if he is just being mysterious. Let the game begin. The audience suddenly cheered and shouted. The martial spirit is indeed a useless martial spirit. I didn't believe it at first, but now I have seen it. But I didn't expect that he would be so arrogant. Alec gritted his teeth and said angrily, "Don't underestimate the enemy. He can cultivate to level 30 soul power with just a frying pan. He is obviously not an easy person to deal with. He deliberately did not release the soul ring just to anger us. Don't be fooled. Follow the previous plan," Janice said in a deep voice. "I know, brother." Opposite, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu observed these two people. They were indeed somewhat different. Tang Lin could not anger them without releasing his soul ring. "Xiaolin, I'll take control. You attack with all your strength and kill one first," Wang Xiaoshu whispered. "It is good." Before the two beast spirits could move, Wang Xiaoshu and Tang Lin rushed towards them. Seeing this, Tang Lin still didn't release his soul ring. Somewhere in the audience, a middle-aged man frowned and said, "HMPH, does this kid really not even release his soul ring? This is the first time in my life that I have seen such an arrogant person. I want to see what he can do without using soul skills. This is a gambling fight. Who would have trouble with money? He must have his reasons for doing this. Let's just wait and see." The white-haired old man next to him squinted his eyes and smiled. The first soul skill, Ivy Binding. While running towards the two of them, Wang Xiaoshu directly used his first soul skill to attack Alec, a level 28 battle soul master, with all his strength. After Alec was possessed by the martial soul, he used his first soul skill at extremely fast speed. He dodged several times, and dodged Wang Xiaoshu's vines one after another. However, Wang Xiaoshu did not intend to give up, and the vines still chased him. Janice was relatively calm and stood still, watching Tang Lin all the time. Tang Lin threw out the frying pan in his hand vigorously. When Janice dodged, he had already come behind him. At the same time, the pan came out again appeared in his hands. 18 beats in the circle. He has reached the third level of cultivation, and his attack power is comparable to, or even better than, the skill of 1,000-year soul ring. He struck with all his strength, and Janice could already feel the danger of Tang Lin's attack. The first soul ring flashed, and with a burst step, he jumped directly into the air, perfectly dodging Tang Lin's attack. Now in the air, he felt a little scared when he thought of Tang Lin's blow just now. However, just when he thought he had escaped Tang Lin's attack, Wang Xiaoshu suddenly used his second soul skill, and countless vines flew from the ground into the air, quickly wrapping him up. Tang Lin had already picked up the frying pan and jumped into the air. Alec was a little far away from Janice at the moment. No matter how fast he was, he would not have time to catch up. In his panicked gaze, Janice was directly slapped on the head by Tang Lin with a pan. Oh. There was a loud noise on the ground, and Janice fell to the ground, unconscious. What happened? In just one round, Janice was knocked to the ground and passed out. The commentator said in surprise. How is this possible? He hasn't even used soul skills yet. A middle-aged man in the audience exclaimed. This, I'm afraid, is a soul skill he created himself. No wonder he doesn't release his soul ring. I see. The white-haired old man said with a focused gaze. Creating your own soul skills? How is this possible? Although he wears a mask, looking at his body and bones, he is only a teenager. How can he create such a powerful soul skill at this age? Probably, that's why he didn't release the soul ring, let the enemy be careless, and then used it to defeat the enemy with one move. This man is definitely a talent. We will send someone to ask later to see if he is willing to join our sect. The white-haired old man said. Yes, elder. Tang Lin is 1.6 meters tall and wearing a mask. No one can believe that he is only 10 years old now. In the audience are not only gamblers and people from wealthy families watching the theater, but also many people from major sects and forces. They are here to observe, and if they encounter good seedlings, they will be admitted to the sect. Brother, what's wrong with you? Alec was panicking. Now, the game was no longer important. The most important thing was his brother's safety. He shouted for a long time before waking up his eldest brother. Jinus just woke up, feeling dizzy and confused. Who am I? Where am I? As soon as he woke up, he asked 3 questions in confusion. It was obvious that Tang Lin had been stunned. Brother, what's wrong with you? I'm your stupid brother Alec. Brother. Alec shouted in panic and haste. Don't worry, your eldest brother is fine. He's just temporarily confused. Just take him back to rest for 2 days. Tang Lin couldn't stand it anymore and said with concern. You, we lost today, but I will remember you. If there is something wrong with my eldest brother, Alec was furious and retreated directly with Jinus in his arms. Start. No one in the audience expected that things would turn out like this and that the ending would be like this. Even Tang Lin was a little surprised. This 18 beats of encirclement was upgraded to the 3rd level when he left Notting City for safety reasons. He hadn't even had time to get familiar with it, but he didn't expect it to be so powerful. A great soul master with a beast martial soul was stunned with just one tap. Damn, that's awesome. Chapter 72. Wolf King Hall. My 3000 gold soul coins. Mommy, how can this clapping in circles be so fierce? Don't everyone say that they are rookies who have just graduated. Woo woo woo. When the gambling is over, some people are happy and some are sad. Tang Lin and the others directly received gold soul coins. But the biggest winner is always the Soul Fighting Arena Lounge. In just a few minutes, he earned 100,000 gold soul coins. Wang Xiaoshu was so happy that he couldn't sit still with excitement. But Tang Lin looked a little unhappy. Xiaolin, why are you unhappy after winning so much money? Wang Xiaoshu said with a smile. Tang Lin stood up, clasping his hands behind his back, looking at the sky outside the window with a melancholy expression, shaking his head and sighing. Oh, you don't understand. Our purpose is to come here, to practice and improve our strength, but look at it now. This the so-called people who have experienced hundreds of battles and have extremely rich combat experience are so vulnerable in front of us. I really don't know what kind of experience we can get in this spirit fighting arena. Alas, it's all our fault for being too strong. I feel so damn uncomfortable. Wang Xiaoshu. Boom, boom boom. At this time, there was a knock on the door. Please come in. Tang Lin and the other 2 put on their masks. A middle-aged man in his 40s, with a majestic face and a Chinese character, walked in slowly. The arrogance on his body is clearly revealed. It seems that there is still a little bit of displeasure. After looking at Tang Lin and the others, he said in a deep voice, 2 young men, which sect or family are you disciples of? Who are you? We know you very well. Wang Xiaoshu frowned and said coldly. This man had a straight face as soon as he came in, acting as if someone owed him money and refused to pay him back. His words were not polite at all, and his tone was as if he was interrogating a prisoner. Ahem, I'm Jiao Fang, the deacon of the Wolf King Palace. You performed outstandingly in the spirit fighting arena just now. Our elders have taken a liking to you and hope to invite you to join our Wolf King Palace. The middle-aged man ignored Wang Xiaoshu and turned away. He looked at Tang Lin. Wolf King Palace? Tang Lin knew that Wolf King Palace was a relatively famous second-rate force on the Douluo continent, and its sect's address seemed to be near Soto City. It is very powerful. Most of the sect's soul masters are beast soul masters. The core soul master souls are all kinds of wolves, so it is called the Wolf King Palace. Of course, they are just a second-rate sect, and they are not the most top-notch force among the second-rate sects, so compared with the first-rate forces like the 7 major sects, they are nothing. Sorry, we are not interested. Tang Lin refused calmly. Gyro Fang frowned immediately. He refused so readily and directly. Could you please give me some face and be more tactful? Young man, is this your first time coming to Soto City? I advise you to think about it. Haven't you heard of the name of our Wolf King Palace? There are many people in Soto City who want to join our Wolf King Palace, but they can't find a way. You are favored by our elders, but you don't know how to cherish it. Okay. GG way. Your parents are always stupid. Why do you send a person like you who can't speak to invite you? Let's go. We told you we are not interested. Wang Xiaoshu said impatiently. Thank you for your kindness. We are really not interested. Tang Lin also nodded. Gyro Fang suddenly felt angry. Humph. In that case, let's say goodbye. I hope you won't regret it in the future. Snapped. As soon as the door was opened, Gyro Fang left angrily. In the gambling match just now, he lost 1,000 gold soul coins and was in great pain, so he didn't have a good impression of Tang Lin and the two of them. He felt underestimated by these two boys just now, so it was inevitable that he would not get angry. Tang Lin also thought of this and felt helpless for a moment. But this is the Soto Great Soul Fighting Arena. Even if you refuse to join other people's forces, you don't have to worry about other people's revenge or anything. It's just that the Wolf King Palace is a good force. If you can find a way to recruit it. Okay, it's our turn for the individual competition. You can prepare yourself. If you have confidence in yourself, just press forward. Don't be afraid of losing. The days flew by and a month passed. During this period, they participated in no less than 5 individual competitions and no less than 5 combination competitions every day. They earned a lot of gold soul coins every day. The most important thing was that their combat skills were improved to a higher level than before. The small forest group has also become famous in the Soto Spirit Arena, and Tang Lin and his 2 brothers also have the same code name. Gyro Fang of the Wolf King Palace had already been scolded by the elders of the sect. During this period, the elders also invited Tang Lin several times, but they were all rejected. The same goes for many other forces. But today, an incredible force has arrived. 7 major sects, the upper 3 sects, the Kibeo Glazed sect. At first, a deacon of the sect came and sincerely invited Tang Lin and the 2 to join the sect. After being rejected, another person came and said he was inviting them to drink tea. The Kibeo Glazed sect is probably the richest sect in the mainland. He even has shares in all the spirit fighting arenas in the continent. Although it is impossible to join, it is always good to get to know each other and build relationships. Recommended reading // So Tang Lin simply agreed at sunset. Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu came out of the hotel, put on brand new clothes, and headed to the Soto auction house. Today's Soto auction house is larger than before and is divided into a main auction room and 3 auxiliary auction rooms. The main auction room is very large, just like the main soul fighting arena in the Great Soul Fighting Arena. The stage is where everyone is watching. No 11 VIP room. Flanders crossed his legs and ate the fruit on the table with a contented look on his face, humming a little tune. Since meeting Tang Lin, Flanders' entire life seems to have changed. From a poor man, he became a rich man in a short time. When he came to the auction house, he wore a mask with ghost patterns. He felt that it was very ritualistic and fulfilling. Seeing his narcissistic look, Tang Lin Wang Xiaoshu couldn't stand it anymore. After leaving VIP room number 11, he went to VIP room No. to keep his appointment. 2 little brothers, let me introduce to you. This is the leader of our Kibeo Glazed sect, Ning. Sect Master. They are the 2 little brothers, Meng Huan Claffand and Kyang Weiteng. They thought they were here to meet some deacon or elder, but they never expected that the person inviting them over was the sect leader of the Kibeo Glazed sect, Ning Fengzi. It turns out it's Sect Master Ning. How virtuous and talented these boys are, but Sect Master Ning actually invited them personally. I'm really scared. Wang Xiaoshu hurriedly greeted them. He never thought that he would be able to meet such a legendary figure in his life. Tang Lin also nodded in greeting. You 2 little brothers, you're welcome. How about sitting down, drinking tea, and chatting? Ning Feng's, he said gently. There was no hint of arrogance in his tone like that of a large sect. His whole person gave off a gentle and polite feeling, which made both Tang and Lin feel very comfortable. Ning Fengxi saw the two of them sitting down and started chatting. If I guessed correctly, you two should be within 15 or 16 years old, right? Because Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu were now wearing masks and their voices had changed a lot, Ning Fengxi couldn't tell their true ages. Chapter 73. Ning Fengxi, you are so young and have already reached level soul power. You are really talented. Don't you know which family or sect you are from? Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu looked at each other, shook his head, and said with a smile, we are not from any sect. Akira, don't tell secrets. I have watched several battles between the two of you. Whether it is your personal fighting ability or the tacit understanding of your fighting ability, it is second to none. I really admire you, so I sincerely invite you to join my sect. Ning Fengxi said. The sect leader of one of the 7 majestic sects sincerely invited 2 great soul masters. If it were anyone else, they would have agreed directly without even thinking about it. But Tang Lin would not agree. He looked at Wang Xiaoshu. This decision needed to be made by Wang Xiaoshu himself. Because Wang Xiaoshu already bears a blood feud, if he is willing to join the Kibao Glazed sect, it will be much easier to get revenge in the future. Wang Xiaoshu actually had this thought in his mind before, but in the end he still felt that if he didn't take this shortcut, there would be no free lunch and no shortcut. Gaining also means giving. So he decided to rely on himself and his brothers. Although Ning Fengxi felt a little pity when the two expressed their opinions, he just smiled helplessly. He was very open-minded. These 2 young geniuses were just a matter of luck and fate. This is what I expected. You don't have to feel sorry. Although you have not entered my sect, if you want to come in the future, my 7 treasures glazed sect will always welcome you. Thank you, sect leader Ning. The two said in unison. The auction was in full swing and extremely lively. Recommended reading // Ning Fengxi was drinking tea while chatting with Tang Lin. At the same time, she would also pay attention to the movements on the auction stage. Because tonight, a higher level treasured armor will be auctioned. This treasured armor can resist the attacks of soul sect level powerhouses. It is a level higher than those treasure armors sold in the past 4 years. Ning Fengxi now has a precious daughter carved in pink and jade, whom he loves very much. He came to Soto City because of this precious armor. Tang Lin had already roughly guessed it by observing the situation at the auction. However, Ning Fengxi didn't know that this treasured armor was the one Tang Lin in front of him had arranged a month ago. Did Sect Master Ning come to Soto City for the soul tool that will appear next? Tang Lin suddenly asked. Haha, that's right, your boy noticed it. I have a precious daughter who is usually very naughty, so I hope to buy her a treasured armor like this. Ning Fengxi said with a slight smile. This is not the great soul fighting arena. Why are you still wearing masks? Are you still shy? Ning Fengxi took a sip of tea and joked. I really want to see what the 2 little friends look like. Tang Lin thought about it and realized that Ning Fengxi was not a bad person, and he was not bad. The most important thing was that he was rich. If he could cooperate with him, the future would be much easier. So he took off his mask and said with a sneer, don't be surprised, Sect Master Ning, we are doing this for safety reasons. It was okay not to speak. After taking off the mask, his childish voice was directly exposed when he spoke. Ning Fengxi and the steward next to him were shocked. Ning Fengxi asked in disbelief, how old are you now? Xiaoshu is 12.5 years old, and I'm preparing to be 10. Tang Lin responded with a smile. Snapped. The teacup in Ning Fengxi's hand fell to the ground and broke into pieces. Genius. You are simply super geniuses. His 12.5-year-old soul power of level is barely acceptable. You are only 10 years old, and you already have level soul power. How is this possible? Wang Xiaoshu already had level 29 soul power. After a month in the Soto Spirit Arena, he finally broke through to level. He was originally a twin martial soul. He was born with full soul power, and his talent was unparalleled by ordinary people. In addition to Tang Lin's daily spiritual and flesh feeding, he also practiced hard, and it is not surprising that he has achieved his current results. Ning Fengzi thought he was perverted enough just by looking at him, but he didn't expect that Tang Lin was even more perverted than him. He was less than 10 years old and had level soul power. He couldn't imagine how he could cultivate this. We just had some adventures. This Douluo continent is vast and boundless. It is said that there are all kinds of wonders in the world. There are spiritual herbs and elixirs among the mountains and rivers. Taking them can instantly increase a person's soul power by several levels, or even more than 10 levels, and there are no side effects. This is all beneficial of. Tang Lin smiled with a mysterious look. He had already thought of these words before taking off his mask. Ning Fengzi felt dizzy for a while and thought to himself, I never expected that such a divine creature really existed in this world. Ning Fengzi could feel that Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu did not behave as they should at their age, so even if he knew their true ages, he did not regard Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu as children. I didn't expect to meet two young geniuses during this trip. Even if I can't take the picture of the treasure armor, my trip will still be in vain. Sect Master Ning is laughing. Wang Xiaoshu said with a smile. Since we are all acquainted now, if you don't mind, just call me Uncle Ning. Archibao Glazed Sect is very willing to make friends with you two little brothers. Ning Fengzi didn't hide anything and said whatever he wanted, which made Tang and Lin have a good impression of him. Uncle Ning. Since you all call me Uncle Ning, I can't let you call me in vain. I see that you all have level soul power now. You should be preparing to go to the Stardao forest to hunt soul beasts and obtain soul rings, right? If you plan to go there in the next few days, I can send someone directly to follow you to ensure that you are foolproof and get the soul ring you want. Ning Fengzi discovered the two geniuses Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu today, and he was very happy. Although he couldn't win him over to his sect, he still wanted to help the two of them when they were still relatively weak, make as many friends as possible, and make two friends for the Kibao Glazed Sect who would be very powerful in the future. We have taken note of Uncle Ning's kindness, but as for the soul ring, we still want to get it ourselves, so we won't bother Uncle Ning. Tang Lin declined. Is it possible not to owe a favor to a rich man like Ning Fengzi, or it is best not to owe it? Otherwise, if I really do business with him in the future, I will be embarrassed to negotiate the price. Seeing that Tang Lin and the others were resolute, Ning Fengzi didn't say anything more. She couldn't force anything, just let nature take its course. Below, the auctioneer invites tonight's final auction item, the Spirit Snake Inner Armor and the Advanced Defense Soul Guidance Device. Everyone's eyes were instantly attracted to her. Tang Lin wasn't worried at all that Ning Fengzi wouldn't be able to bid for it. Today's Kibao Glazed Sect could be said to be as rich as any other country, so for what he was interested in, not many people at the auction house would dare to compete with him, because they all know they can't compete. So, since you already know that you can't fight, why should you fight again and let yourself provoke such a powerful enemy for nothing? Chapter 74. Soulbone. The auction was very long. After chatting with Ning Fengzi for a while, Tang Lin and Ning Fengzi left wearing masks. Today I got to know Sect Master Ning, and each of them left their contact information. It will be more convenient for any future business dealings and cooperation. In the No 11 auction room, Flanders and Liang Shan were sitting on the table drinking tea. Next to them stood a beautiful woman with a slight makeup and a slender figure. Seeing Tang Lin and the others come in, Flanders stood up directly, lowered his head and said, "Young master." Liang Shan also stood up and bowed in greeting. "Is this the young master of the Ghost King? He looks like he is only 15 or 16 years old. He is indeed a young hero." Flanders' current coded name is Ghost King. Liang Shan thought this was the first time he met Tang Lin, but he didn't expect that the kid who was next to Flanders before was Tang Lin. "Uncle Liang, you're welcome. This is my uncle's precious daughter, Sister Kia, right? Even if you wear a mask, you can't hide your sister's beauty." Tang Lin smiled. It's been a long time since he saw Liang Kia. She's still so beautiful. He doesn't know if she is being chased by K-Wens now. After a few more polite words to each other, they started talking about business. "Uncle Liang, from today on, we will auction 2 types of armor with different strengths every month. Regarding cooperation, we in the entire auction house only believe in you, so we will only cooperate with you." "So what did you mean when you told us before that there might be someone else taking over Soto auction house?" Tang Lin asked straight to the point. Kia, you go out first. We have to talk about something. I'll come find you later. Liang Shan said to his daughter Liang Kia. Liang Kia said oh and left obediently. In the past few years, the business of Soto auction house has indeed been getting better and better. Subsequently, many people in the family have become jealous and want me to abdicate. I'm afraid that within these 2 months, I will be transferred to Berwick City. Liang Shan shook his head and sighed. Tang Lin had known for a long time that the Liang family was one of the top families in the Balak kingdom and had marriages with the Balak royal family. In the past few years, the Soto auction house has become a booming business due to these soul guide armors that appeared out of thin air, and the surrounding businesses have become more and more prosperous. Some members of the Liang family in the capital of Balak wanted to replace Liangshan and come up to eat the fat meat themselves. In the past 4 years, I don't know how many sect forces have been inquiring about us from the auction house, and I'm afraid even Wuhan Palace is no exception, right? But Boss Liang has always abided by the rules of the auction house, withstood the pressure from all parties, and did not disclose any information about us. We admire him very much, so we only believe in you now. If the auction house changes to someone we are not familiar with to communicate and cooperate with us, then we will have no choice but to leave. There are so many places in the world where we can go, and auctions can be held anywhere. I have told my clansmen this before, but how could they believe me? I'm also helpless, Liang Shan said. Tang Lin lowered his head and started thinking. This substitution is definitely not allowed. If the people who came here sold Flanders, wouldn't their previous plans be in vain? Boss Liang, this is what we have said. If your auction house really changes people, then we will have no choice but to cut off contact with you. After all, this armor can be auctioned anywhere, Tang Lin said decisively. Liangshan's character is well known in Socho City. If it were other members of his family, they might not be able to withstand the pressure from Wuhan Palace and other forces. Liangshan was helpless. After all, this auction house is a family property, and the person who wants to take over is the clan leader's biological son. He cannot make the decision in any case. It's okay, business cannot be done without righteousness. We also know that you can't take charge of this auction house alone, Tang Lin said with a smile. Then after thinking about it, he took out a fiery red soul bone from his backpack. This is soul bone. Liang Shan was extremely surprised and shouted in a lowered voice. Including Flanders and Wang Xiaoshu, they were all surprised and stared at him. They didn't know that Tang Lin had a soul bone in his body. Tang Lin smiled and said, this is a leg bone. Didn't Uncle Liang always doubt why we believe you so much? In fact, the reputation of the auction house and Uncle Liang's character are only secondary. The most important thing is that Sister Kia helped me 4 years ago. Therefore, I will give this soul bone to Sister Kia as a thank you gift. Tang Lin currently has 30 yuan worth of soul bones in his body, but he has never taken them out because the impact was too great. And this ham leg bone was dropped by Liang Kia when he killed the fire spirit beast. Giving it to her can be regarded as returning it to its original owner. At the same time, it also lets the Liang family know that what they are facing is a huge force that can take out soul bones as gifts at will. It turns out that this young master also knows Kia, but this is too precious. When Liang Shan heard that this was going to be given to his daughter, he trembled all over and said in disbelief. Flanders was about to speak when he was forced back by Tang Lin's look. At the same time, he also gave Wang Xiaoshu a look to signal him not to be so excited. I gave this to Sister Kia. No one else but us can know what happened today. Of course, you can't let Sister Kia know that it was me who sent it. And starting from today, you can reveal the word Ghost King to those who come to inquire about us. That's all you know anyway. If the Liang family really wants you to leave in 2 months, then we can only go to other places to auction, or open an auction house ourselves. Tang Lin directly put the soul bone into Liang Shan's hands. When Liang Shan got the soul bone in his hand, he felt like he was in a dream. Everything was so illusory. Soul bones, this is a priceless treasure, something that all soul masters dream of. I won't let others, including Kia, know that I will go back and finish the things you told me. From now on, if anything happens to the Ghost King and this young master, you can come to me directly. Liang Shan said excitedly. At last. Baojia was bought by Ning Fengxi from VIP room no. Left square bracket dash right square bracket. Tang Lin and others also returned to the villa. Good boy, I didn't expect you to be able to take out such things as soul bones, and even give them directly to others. Flanders pretended to complain. Huh, aren't you fascinated by that little beauty named Liangqua? Uncle Flanders, what are you talking about? I'm only 10 years old now. Tang Lin rolled his eyes at Flanders. Don't worry, you have worked hard for our family for 4 years, and have made great achievements. How can you not share your soul bones? What? You mean, I also have a share? Flanders immediately turned into a flattering look. Tang Lin held his forehead, picked out a piece of leg bone with healing power, and threw it to Flanders. Flanders could not wait to kneel down to Tang Lin immediately, caressing the soul bone lovingly. How come you have so many good things in your body? Are you not afraid of being robbed? Do you want to rob him? Tang Lin looked at Flanders, the wretched four-eyed boy, with interest. I didn't say, don't frame me falsely, I still want to live a long life. Flanders shook his head repeatedly. Tang Lin had no choice but to turn around and look at Wang Xiaoshu. Xiaoshu, do you want it too? Chapter 75. Wang Xiaoshu disappeared. Who doesn't want soul bones? Is not this nonsensical? Wang Xiaoshu rolled his eyes at Tang Lin. The master taught him when he was studying at Notten Junior Soul Master Academy, so he knew that a soul master can have up to 6 soul bones, plus one of the rarest external soul bones. Each soul bone absorbed is equivalent to you is missing one soul bone position. Tang Lin didn't give it to him because he didn't have a soul bone suitable for him. Moreover, the soul bone belonged to Tang Lin. There was no reason for him to ask Tang Lin for it. Tang Lin smiled and said, don't worry, when I have a suitable soul bone, I will naturally give it to you. I know. Flanders felt like crying. After listening to what the two said, he shook his head and sighed. In their eyes, soul bones seemed to be nothing valuable in their eyes. Fortunately, I met Tang Lin in this life. No matter what happens in the future, even if you are stalking him, you have to hang out with this kid. After a month, Tang Lin's villa already has more than 200 loyal guards. Those who don't want to join have already left. The more than 200 people who stayed were divided into 2 brigades, and each brigade was divided into several small teams. Generally, only 40 people were required to take turns guarding and standing guard every day, while the rest needed to practice hard. Either he was taken to Shrek Academy for training by Flanders, or he went to the Soto Spirit Fighting Arena to hone himself and improve his combat effectiveness. In short, Tang Lin was responsible for all the expenses. After a month of training in the Soto Spirit Arena, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu's combat experience has steadily increased, and their strength has been greatly improved. Especially Wang Xiaoshu. The soul power broke through level 2 days ago. After explaining everything to Flanders, Tang Lin and Wang Xiaoshu went directly to the Star Forest. The goal was to gain their 3rd soul ring while practicing. Start our great forest. Tang and Lin were dressed in black corsets and were running in the forest. Suddenly, the aftermath of a battle came with a faint smell of blood. The two frowned and immediately stopped. SHHHHHH. In an instant, several figures flew past the giant tree above their heads. One of them noticed Tang Lin and the two of them said softly and continued to run away. In the Star Forest, 2 great soul masters actually broke in, which really made them a little curious. These people are all soul masters of the 5th and 6th rings. With so many powerful soul masters appearing together, there is no doubt that they are hunting a powerful soul beast in front of them. One more thing is worse than one less thing. The two of them immediately changed their direction and headed towards run to another place. Wang Xiaoshu's 3rd soul ring's target is a soul beast that is 5,000 years old or more, while Tang Lin's 3rd soul ring's target is a 10,000-year-old soul beast. They have now gone deep into the Stardao forest, so most of the soul beasts they encounter are 1,000-year level soul beasts, but they have not yet encountered a 10,000-year level soul beast. Looking at the situation just now, their team must have encountered a 10,000-year soul beast. Okay, let's take a rest here. After running for a while, Tang Lin stopped and said, do you want to take a look? Wang Xiaoshu raised his eyebrows and grinned. You better understand me. Just wait for me here, and I'll come back as soon as I go. Tang Lin nodded. After going into the forest for so long, he didn't see a single soul beast hair in 10,000 years, so Tang Lin wanted to go and have a look. Even if he went to lick the box and get some box to mix with the beast meat, that would be fine. Okay, I know I can't stop you, just be careful, Wang Xiaoshu said. Tang Lin patted Wang Xiaoshu on the shoulder. Don't worry, just squat here and don't move. I'll be back soon. After a few jumps, Tang Lin had disappeared into the forest. After performing the flying to the ground technique, Tang Lin slowly approached the place just now through the trees and grass. System, are there any boxes around? There are no boxes within 100 meters. The opponents were all powerful Soul Kings and Soul Emperors. Tang Lin didn't know who they were, so even with the flying to the ground technique, he didn't dare to get too close. He could only walk and look around to see if there were any boxes. Ding. There is a box 100 meters ahead. Tang Lin's eyes narrowed. He was finally here. Box energy plus 3000. Box energy plus 2000. Box energy plus 900. Box energy plus 7000. The closer you get, the more boxes you get. This group of people actually killed all the soul beasts they met along the way, but this also happened to be an advantage for Tang Lin. They licked a lot of boxes of energy beast meat along the way, especially the countless treasure armors that fell from the boxes. The ground was full of potholes, huge towering trees were swaying here and there, and there was a mess along the way. It was obvious that they were chasing an extremely powerful spirit beast, and these dead spirit beasts should be the younger ones who came out to help the escaped spirit beast. After catching up to this point, Tang Lin no longer wanted to continue chasing. He was satisfied with having harvested so much animal meat and precious armor. Wang Xiaoshu would be anxious if he continued to chase, so he began to turn around. After running for half an hour, he returned to the place where Wang Xiaoshu was waiting for him, only to find that Wang Xiaoshu had disappeared. Tang Lin shouted several times, but still received no response. After searching for a long time, there was no mark left by him nearby. A living person just disappeared out of thin air. Tang Lin sat down and thought for a while, and also thought about waiting for him here. Maybe he would come back later. Wang Xiaoshu wears inner armor that can resist Soul Emperor level attacks. He also has quick stepping boots under his feet, making his speed unmatched by ordinary people. One Soul King, Soul Emperor, and Soul Saint experience card each. As long as he is not a strong person above the contra level, no one should be able to threaten him. He has sufficient equipment, and with his intelligence, Tang Lin is not worried about his safety. He deliberately didn't want me to follow him, so he didn't leave any mark. Tang Lin shook his head and smiled. No matter what he goes to do, he will definitely end up in the Star Luo Empire, his hometown of Viking City. After waiting for a long time, Wang Xiaoshu didn't come back, so Tang Lin got up and continued into the Star Forest to look for his third soul ring. Oh. Deep in the forest, a huge black ant let out a shrill scream and was killed by Tang Lin in one fell swoop. After 3 full days, he finally found his favorite 10,000-year-old soul beast, the Thousand Jin Ant King. Tang Lin, who always has experience cards, knocked over the 10,000-year soul beast in 3 strokes, 5 by 2, and after licking the box, Tang Lin began to absorb the black 10,000-year soul ring. Now the strength of his body is no longer inferior to that of the Soul King, and it is more than enough to absorb the 10,000-year soul ring. Who in just over half an hour, the 10,000-year soul ring had been absorbed by him. Physical fitness has improved to another level. The system scanning range has also been increased to 500 meters. The first level package of externally attached soul bones is still growing slowly, and the space inside is getting larger and larger. Host, Tang Lin. Soul Power, level 40. Gang for skills, the third level of 18 beats in the circle plus, flying to the ground level, plus, box energy. 88,888 points. x8 x800 2000 x40 x203 x10 x20 x40 x10 x1. There are all kinds of soul rings, some from every year, many from some years, and even a lot of soul bones. As for animal meat and precious armor, there is nothing to say. If it weren't for his current weakness, Tang Lin would have wanted to open a shop to sell soul rings and soul bones in Douluo continent. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.